lit chandeliers glow. We'll sip our worries away, nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. But let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. They sparkle with every click, sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, the channel where you can hold a drink in one hand and some form of physical media in the other. Tonight we are talking discs, cartridges, vinyl, the stuff that you can actually own in defiance of the corporations that want to turn everything into a subscription that disappears the second they decide you're not paying enough. Games, movies, shows, music, they're all getting the why own it when you can rent it forever treatment. Lucky for us, we've got a panel of experts who still believe in shelves that don't auto-delete. So top off your glasses and toast to the disk drives of the world. And let's get into it before the next software update bricks the past. The Canarble Wagon rolls right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salute to all of you and welcome to the weekend. I hope you guys are all doing phenomenally. Man, I am fired up about tonight's stream because I'm looking at the green room right now, and with the exception of one person who's facing away from me, I am seeing some really good look. Well, no, now he's turned around. I'm seeing some really good looking faces here. I am really, really excited. So glad you're all here. I'm going to start bringing them in one by one. I know I'm going a little bit out of order, guys. I will say hi to everybody in the chat, but I want to get all of these people in here because they've been waiting so long, not least of which the media that I most like to get physical with. Netter of Netters Network. How you doing, my dear? And what you sipping on?
I wasn't expecting that.
Of course she wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to say before he says it. I'm doing really well, and I am sipping on a Polar brand seltzer water toasted coconut.
There you go. And you guys... There you go. And those of you that caught Liquid Lunch today know it's a whiskey cocktail for me. What we call in the North Midwest a brown mumbler, because when you've had two, you're mumbling. So I should address one thing real quick. I know a lot of people have been concerned about my health. I had a bit of a health scare last week. Did talk to the doctor. A little concerned about some liver enzymes, and especially, although we haven't gotten all the tests back yet, might be an ulcer. So the doctor said, you're going to have to stay away from alcohol. I said, okay, so what's plan B? And the doctor said, well, then you're in pain and it gets worse. I said, okay, so what I hear is I got to drink more so as not to feel the pain. No, but seriously, I am going to have to not drink anymore. But I'm not going to drink any less either. So let's get, that's why I need my designated driver, Aged Boomer, whom we are all celebrating because, why, Netter?
He's monetized. Oh,
well,
no,
he's
about to be monetized.
About to be monetized. We got to get him the watch hours, but we finally got him the subscriber numbers.
Yes.
And I suspect, and I'm not putting anyone on the spot, but I know a couple of you guys that are here on the panel today knew that I was making a push to get him to that magic number by the end of last month. I'm wondering if you guys might not have pushed out the word to some of your people.
And he is
but
at
don't
530 subscribers.
530 subscribers, thanks to all of you that subscribed, that shared out his streams and so forth. What are you sipping on tonight, my designated driver?
Oh, I have a Arizona fruit punch, fruit juice cocktail.
Oh.
I see. Gotta, because you may have to shut down the stream for me.
And now we just need those watch hours for him, and he can be monetized. So
everybody, help us out. Okay, now we have a whole bunch of very special guests here, and as you guys already know these guys, but I'm going to tell you why I'm bringing each one of them in here. Let's start with Brian, that 70s rock fan.
Well, good evening.
Well, the real reason I'm bringing him in is because he's got a great accent. I love his name. He's got the same name as my brother. And, well, you like
your
physical media of the
Your
audience,
brother's called Sharon? That's weird.
I meant your original name.
I'm just kidding.
What specifically are you sipping on there? Salute.
Bottle of red wine. It's a Malbec. From Argentina, which is my chosen thing. But this is the first wine I've had in many months. I had a similar story.
I
went to the doctor one time, and he couldn't find my liver, which was the first problem. So I had no problem with liver enzymes. But he did say, you because I was prone to gout, he said, you have to stop drinking red wine. And that was like a killer for me because I love that stuff. Yeah. So only every so often do I have one. Tonight is a special occasion. I'm very happy to be here again amongst you and with this wonderful panel you've assembled. I'm very honoured to be amongst them. So I'm glad you got me on here first because they're far more interesting than me. So I managed to get my bit in.
Well, no, I'm bringing you on 70s rock fan because, especially because as I was watching that last stream with you, I'm like, man, this guy just picked up some really great albums. I'm like, wait, that's physical media too, for Pete's sake. So I'm like, definitely had to get you in here.
I have been on a mission the last 4 or 5 years to rebuild my collection after many years of things disappearing and getting lost and getting rid of them or whatever, totally stupid. So I've been rebuilding, but a lot of it, it's everything. It's albums, singles, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K books, you name it. And games, physical games too, of course. So
we're going to get into all of those things tonight. For Netter's benefit, because I don't think she was here for the last time you and I got together. Whereabouts are you from originally that accent comes from?
I'm originally from Edinburgh in Scotland, but I currently reside in the prairies of Alberta.
Yes, you do.
Surrounded by cattle and coyotes. So
now, I know my grandfather's Scottish, but I don't know from where. And the accent's going to start coming out.
She literally is a UK mutt.
My mother's a Lancashire lassie.
Her mother always said she's a Lancashire lassie.
Yeah, my grandmother was Welsh. My grandfather was Scottish. And somewhere in there, I was supposed to be a wee bit Irish.
But she doesn't even know.
You've got a little bit of every part of the British Isles in you.
Right?
Indeed.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
And then I married this guy. Now I got some Italian too.
Well,
there you go. Well,
that was
a
you
little
said
bit, a little
that,
bit of
not me.
Italian. A little bit of Italian.
Let's get. I think my audience is well familiar with Michael. You can always turn off your camera. Nothing says you can't, but there you go. He's purposely muted himself. Wait, you are muted. Seriously.
No, do Greg first. Do Greg first.
Do Greg first? Okay, we'll bring Greg in. We'll bring Greg in. Greg FanZcene, he is Mr. Physical Media, if we're honest.
Yeah.
How you doing, Greg? What you sipping on?
I'm doing good. Sipping on some water, as always.
That's fair.
But
because you're in training, right? Show them your guns. Yeah, right.
I was earlier, and I probably should have saved it for the stream. But I was drinking a little Angry Orchard Scream.
Fair enough. Great marketing too. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I did bring a six pack of shot on video Blu-rays.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's a great package. I love that.
It's a 6-pack.
Well, that is. It's a 6-pack. Well, before we get back to Michael now, we got to bring in Tom of Midnight's Edge After Dark. Of course, because he's your partner in physical media streaming. So how you doing, Tom, and what you sipping on, if anything?
Well, geez, starting to feel like the Avengers here all of a sudden.
I know, we've assembled, right? Exactly.
Wow.
But how you doing tonight, Tom?
I'm here.
There you go. Wow, look at this. Look at this.
I can't believe I'm on the stream with Tom. I'm a real fanboy.
I don't know who this guy is.
I thought he was from Texas.
I want to make it very clear that this is not us trying to pressure Aged Boomer into going on camera. We understand, Aged Boomer, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. But this is a heck of a no pressure at all. But we'll come back around now. We're coming back around to Michael French, who's in the Alice position, the way it turns out. Michael French of RetroBlasting, how you doing, friend? What you sipping on?
I'm doing fine. I brought this in. I told you earlier a few streams ago that it's horrible. So I thought I'd bring it in and suffer for the audience.
Let's see.
This Rocketeer.
Oh, very nice.
This is swill. This is... You remember the scene in the movie after they lose control of the rocket pack the first time in the hangar, and it's like, runs on alcohol. I swear that's what this is. Like this is when I drank it the last time with Scuba Pete, it was awful. It was it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
What? You want to see me suffer?
No.
Okay.
You're just supposed to sip.
Suffer. Yeah, exactly.
You're just supposed to sip that stuff, not drink it.
I know.
Well, I would argue you're probably not even supposed to sip it. It's really meant to be like you keep it in the bottle, as a commemorative kind of.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get better whiskey and put in this bottle.
Oh, great idea.
That might be the way to go. I have a whole bunch of Star Trek bottles, and some of them are brand new from Star Trek wines.
Right.
But I've tasted them and they're not that great, so I really have them for the display in the bottle. And you're right, I could just as easily dump them out. I have yet to try the synth ale that they have put out, these for mocktails, which Netter is saying, well, if you can't have alcohol right now, maybe that's no.
I don't think it's ever good luck to put a drink in a beaker. I just don't think that's
yeah, you make a great point there, but anyway, let's start saying hi to the chat, because I don't want you guys to feel slighted in the slightest, especially someone like Ruby Hoove. Thank you so much, Ruby, for being here and for gifting a membership over here on my channel as well as on Netter's channel. Thank you so much. That went to Phantom Outsider on my side and Brandon Glass on her side. Thank you so much, Ruby Hoove.
Ruby Hoove, you're a gem shining through. Every kindness, every gift makes the whole world sparkle new. Ruby Hoove, thank you.
Ruby, you really are just the best. I super appreciate you. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube and the star of Fluff Chick Productions, thank you so much for being here. Brian, that 70s rock fan, is in my chat. Look at that. How awesome is that?
How multi-talented is that? I can do two things at once. Badly.
I know, right? That is awesome. And I think Michael French is going to enjoy this. Geek Flag with Nate Knows, thank you so much. Sending us a farty fox.
Shimmy left, shimmy right, farty fox is dancing tonight. Wait. Hearts go popping out his bum, wiggle, wiggle, here they come. Come. Cute as can be with a fluffy tail sway, spreading love in the silliest way. Farty fox, you're the best. Boop, 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 you're simply the cutest mess.
So for those that aren't in the know, the Farty Fox is a super sticker that for a while looked like it was going away, and we used to love it so much. I think it was Lady Mist.
Yeah, Lady Mist is the one who gave it the moniker
dubbed it Farty Fox, despite the fact I guess it's supposed to be a Shiba dog dance. It looks like it's farting out foxes. And I said, you know what? Farting out hearts. And I'm like, for crying out loud, you know, I'm going to do something so that we never lose the Farty Fox. And, well, there you go. There you go. And, Geek Flag with Nate Knows also gifted. Oh, look at this. He gifted a membership on my channel. Guess who it went to? Nina Infinity. How wild is that? Oh, Nina's great. She really is. And look, this he dropped this comment here, this frickin' wall of text. I'm not going to read this. Dude, you got to actually say the words.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. And if you were going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not gift a membership instead and make our family grow?
Exactly. The reason he did that was he makes fun of me because as he puts this comment up every time, and I always read it, and I'll read it one more time. This might be the last time I read it out. I say, like, share, subscribe, comment, become a member. And if you're going to give a super chat of $5 more, why not gift a membership instead to make our family grow? And he's like, why do you read it like Shatner? I'm like, I don't know. It just comes out naturally. So that's why he did that. But thank you so much, my friend. I super appreciate that. What a nice surprise. This was an hour later than I thought it'd be. I just came back from the Scarlet Pimpernel musical. I'm glad that you're here, Samuel Proctor. Wow. Good. You'll have to tell us all about that. Netter saying hi to everybody here. There's FKHC 2005, also known as Tim.
Cheers,
absolutely.
Tim. Big supporter of my channel.
He says his dog is watching the show tonight, and doggos are always welcome on this channel. Absolutely. And, Connie's saying hi specifically to Brian. There you go.
Hi, Connie.
Big Al. Yep. Big Al, who I was just on with a little while ago, watching Event Horizon. Good to see you, my friend. And Deleted Scenes. Salute to you. Yes, Films with Friends raid. Thank you so much. Going through very quickly. Please bear with me. David Pensack. Best wishes to you, Troy. Last call with Troy Pacelli. Thank you so much. Drew G. Good evening to you as well. Connie Cleary. Ruby Hoove is sipping on an unsweetened tea. No sugar allowed. Yep, Netter and I have cut out the sugar.
Best way to drink tea.
Mostly.
No sugar.
Mostly. Well, and I was saying the same thing about coffee earlier today. I mean, if you're going to bother putting all that cream and sugar and turn it basically into a milkshake, why even bother with the coffee?
You're not tasting the coffee.
I drink coffee black. I drink coffee black the way I drink whiskey straight. Like I don't.
I thought you were going to say something about women there for a minute, but it's
no.
Black and creamy or something. No. No. I quoted Agent Dale Cooper this afternoon when I said I take my coffee black as midnight on a moonless night. That's pretty dark.
Nice piece of cherry pie.
Save the clock tower. Save the clock tower. There you go. Enigma Severus, thank you so much for being here. Brian Stevens, hello, Troy. I am here from RetroBlasting. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here. You have a good name. I like that name. Brian is a good name.
It's a great name.
Just like this guy at the far end of this row, you spell it
correctly. I'm Brian, and so is my wife.
There you go. There you go. Let's see. Ronan 2020, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And she had to point out it's iced, of course. Okay, that's fair. Either way is good, I suppose. Out of curiosity, have you ever visited Hadrian's Wall? I'm sorry, it's so tiny.
It's the wall that the Emperor Hadrian built to keep the Scots out because they couldn't conquer them.
Didn't you as well, Michael?
I have been there. It's very interesting.
I have been there, of course, but I was supposed to go back to film part of my Robin Hood documentary, but some bastards cut down that tree. So
I heard about that.
So I had to delay my plans. So yeah. But yes, it's a beautiful place. Yeah.
I want to real quick. Where was it? Big fan of all things Roman, says Brian. Yeah, me too. I love togas.
Oh yeah. Especially at a party. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You should try that one night of Geeky Geezers. Fair enough. Troy has a Star Trek bottle. Color me shocked. Yeah, yeah, he's right. No, I have a whole collection of Star Trek bottles. I'll have to do a stream about that some night. Charlotte Frazier, good to see you. Is this just a live stream, not a watch along? This one is not a watch along. My watch alongs for the members is every Monday night. And members, you guys have been voting, and it looks like we're going to be watching Hail Mary, Project Hail Mary this Monday. You guys at 75%. I don't see Masters of the Universe beating that one out by any stretch of the imagination. So, if you really, really wanted to see Masters of the Universe, maybe go check out Michael French's video that he just put out about that. It's probably for the best.
And if you want to watch along, Saturday on my channel, we'll be watching the House with the Clock in Its Walls. Or
there you go. There you go.
Just to let you guys know, Tom and Andre at Midnight's Edge put out today this amazing breakdown of the Mattel earnings call, and they talk about everything that's going on with Masters of the Universe in the background. And I'm working on a big mega review video about Masters of the Universe 2026, which Melinda forced me to start making, which I'm also going to dedicate to Tom Connors. So it's, right? So it's weird that you showed up here tonight, because I was like,
does the He-Man baby come full circle?
I think so. Yeah. It's yeah.
I have to go since he just dropped a video. I gotta go. I gotta watch it, but I'll be back later.
Well, I
had his video.
Wait, well, I did a video called Final Fight, Tom, but that's a piece. That's a piece of another really big video that's on the way. And that video on the way, I've been building and making with you in mind the entire time.
All right, I'll stay.
Yeah.
This time.
And
A piece of
and of course, I had that little screed that Tom had done a while back. I had it loaded up, and I just checked to see if I still had it. I'm like, nope. Nope,
these are the only people I really care about who thinks about this movie. So
here's the funny part. I'll keep this quick because I know we got to talk about physical media, but this does count because it's related. So Melinda and I were watching your review, Tony Roberts' review on Analog Toys, and Lio Convoy's review, and I hadn't planned to see the movie. And after we got done, there was this pregnant pause, and I'm sitting there half eating a sandwich, and she looks over and she says, I think you need to do a video about this movie. And I said, I have no plans to do a video about this movie. And she goes, you need to do one. I said, that could take weeks, because she said she wanted it to be like the Indy 5 review. And I said, that could take weeks. And she goes, you better get started then, hadn't you? And so I had to race off to the theater and sit in opening and watch the movie. It was like the Monday or Tuesday after the opening weekend.
So you were by yourself.
Yeah, I was by myself. Melinda wasn't going to go suffer this with me. She knew.
Well, I meant in the theater was nobody else there. That was my point.
Oh yeah, there was like 4 other people. Yeah. So I went and now I've been for the last 2 months working on this big video, and you top of mind the entire time.
Well, I can't wait. I usually try to watch every one of your videos, and this is one I definitely am going to have to. So
yeah,
I try to watch them early because I'm a patriot.
Well, his in-depth ones are difficult to watch because they're so long, but I love them. It's just I don't have the time to dedicate to them. I would love to just sit there with popcorn and just devour them.
Friday night, or excuse me, Wednesday nights is my RPG game over here at my house, and we're doing Star Wars right now. And I told we were talking about what's that series? The one that everyone likes about the guy that blows up in Rogue One. Andor. They were talking about Andor, and that led into a talk about Rogue One. I said, you want to see Rogue One? You got to check out Michael French's deep dive on it. So I posted the video in our role-playing group for them to check out. Geek Flag with Nate Knows says, Netter, your hair looks lovely tonight. Well, I think it's because she knew that Greg was going to be here, so she wanted to look pretty. So I think that's what it was really all about. But there you go. Speaking of Robin Hood, looking forward to having Aged Boomer join him next Friday for the next 2 episodes of Robin of Sherwood.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. Joe's Atmosphere. Thank you so much, Joe's Atmosphere, for $5. Cheers, absolutely. Says, just got out of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Best costume to date. This was peak Ross Andrew Spidey. Only thing missing was the Spidey Mobile. Hail. Good to see you, my friend. And Tom, I saw Masters of the Universe 2026 a couple of weeks ago. I'm sorry, Nate. And your rant was actually too restrained. The movie was awful. There you go. Thank you.
Tom talked about this, and it was, oh man, it is a horrible movie.
Terrible.
I was telling I was telling my audience during one of the lunch streams, I said I acquired the movie and then just erased it without watching it. I said I was
only one real
I'm not
movie.
even really...
That's the only real one. That's the only real one.
Dolph Lundgren, right? Exactly.
It's a better film in the end than the one we got. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Charlotte, thank you so much. You just gifted a membership to Dunhausen. Very nice. Very evil. Welcome back. Thank you so much. And deleted scenes. Wow, you guys are just so generous with the game. You guys just trying to make me look good tonight or something? I don't know what this is. That went to Horror Cat Dad. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. But, hey, phrasing, I don't know what I said, but I probably meant it. It was probably appropriate, so there we go. All right. Let's get into this. Where are we starting, Aged Boomer?
Okay, well, I mainly put this, I wanted to do a stream on this because there were 2 things in recent news that got me worried, or upset, I should say. It was the Of course, the PlayStation 5 announcement of them going all digital for the PlayStation 6, and also actually for the PlayStation 5. Starting in 2028, they will no longer manufacture physical discs for their game console. All the games will be digital. And the other one was apparently the Crunchyroll store, which Sony also owns, which used to be the Right Stuff, which was a major anime DVD distributor in North America, and you would just it's where a lot of anime fans would go and buy their physical discs, and then Sony bought them out and made it the Crunchyroll store. Now apparently they're phasing out DVD sales on that at some point. We read an article on that. So those were the two things that kind of set me off, and I guess I just wanted to put this together to find out from other people who are big physical media fans. Where are we with physical media? Should we be worried? Is this just a gaming thing? Is it going to spread elsewhere? And that's sort of where I wanted to start.
Well, I mean, Sony has a history of killing things, right? I mean, mini disc. I mean, DVD.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Physically or no? What are we talking about here? Oh, Tom was too hot there. Now he's disappeared.
Allegedly there, sorry.
They also shut down manufacturing of recordable Blu-rays as well.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to add that
to
it.
Right?
Yes.
And think about this. They fought the format war with HD DVD and fought to win. And I can't help these days but wonder if that was their long game, where it was like, if we own the rights to the dominant physical media format, we can shut it down at any time. In other words, we can kill it anytime we want when we're ready to move to a digital-only world.
That's an interesting way of looking at it, actually. And I'm not saying you're wrong, because the funny thing about that whole war was the Xbox side of the equation. The only reason they backed HD DVD was so there would be a war.
Right.
Because they didn't care. They didn't want physical discs anymore. They wanted to switch everything over to buying stuff from the Microsoft store and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, could Sony theoretically, do they own the rights to the format, or the patents, I should say, or whatever? Can they prevent Blu-ray disc manufacture? Or is that, like, I don't know why they would, or even if they had the right to do that, but I'm just curious.
No, not that I know of. I mean, they just have to pay the patent or whatever.
Okay, so you pay money to Sony, but they can't prevent you. Okay, all right.
Right.
Okay.
So we should be buying, if we want recordable Blu-ray discs, we should be buying them. Blank discs is what we're saying.
Yeah, I heard we did another article on those. I think those are not going to be manufactured soon, or
Sony's versions are done.
Yeah.
But there's still that you can get.
There are one or two others doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been saying for the longest time. And again, nothing that any of us says should ever be interpreted as legal advice. I don't know why you would think to take legal advice from people who don't even claim to be lawyers, let alone, whatever. But my understanding of fair use is you have a right when you have purchased some piece of physical media, and you want to change that media for your own personal use. You have every right to do that. And that may oftentimes mean, like we all did as a kid, taking that LP album and making a cassette to listen to in the car, or on your boombox, if you're old enough to remember those. Or if you I don't know, let's say you have a DVD that's kind of going bad on you. Nice. You need to re-encode it because it came from the factory that way. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Album to cassette, so you could listen to it.
But without music, without cassettes, I would not have had 90% of the music to listen to that I ended up with. Yeah. Without cassettes, that's how I couldn't afford. I couldn't afford to buy the albums.
Yeah. The other one Sony I have here too.
And that's exactly. And heck, I just came back last month. Netter and I took a trip to visit my mom. What did she do? She dumped a whole bunch of cassettes on me. She says, "Can you transfer these to CD for me?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Doesn't normally go that way.
Doesn't normally go that, but for her, it's a convenience.
Should be able to just go find those tracks digitally.
Honestly, that's really what I'm going to do, Tom. To be honest with you, it's a lot easier. But yes, exactly right.
Special about that tape. I mean, you can still digitize it. Don't get me wrong, but let's be real. Cassette tape sounded like crap, kids.
Well, there was a lot of it's a lot of greatest. It's probably stuff I even have in my own collection. It's a lot of greatest hits, Dean Martin type stuff, and Italian American classics and stuff like that. So I probably already have them digitally myself, but I got to go through them and put them together for it, because that's just what I got to do, being a good son, right? Sony doubles down on axing physical game discs. CFO reiterates, we're going to cautiously
whatever
move this
that
forward.
means.
Cautiously. Yeah, cautiously. Exactly. What's cautiously in this context?
Well, we had talked about this Sunday, and this was the CFO. Hold on, what was her name again? I think it was Lynn Tan. Is that right?
Yeah.
And
she's the one that basically said, "Yeah, screw you. We're doing this whether you like it or not."
Her name is I think.
Right, because you're not allowed. Exactly, right.
Lin Tao, my mistake. But this is what she said. Now, I want to keep in mind that she had not addressed the public outcry. No one at Sony has addressed the public outcry when people were complaining about this on X and other social media places. They just were not addressing it. And then finally, during a Q&A session, during an investor meeting, this came up because people are rightly, there are many PlayStation 5 owners and I guess potential PlayStation 6 owners that are very angry about this. And this is what she said. On this point, we announced that January 2020 onwards, we will no longer be manufacturing game discs. 1.5 years ahead, we made this announcement at this time. There are various reasons we made this decision. Tao further explains the rationale behind the digital paradigm shift, a move that was met with negative criticism from PlayStation fans and parts of the industry. The biggest being that the digitization of content overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just for PlayStation, it's for all kinds of contents. Digitization is progressing. When we think about the future, we put a lot of thought and time. We cautiously consider this. We came to this conclusion. We're going to cautiously move this forward. And let me see. She also said, to this decision we have receive various opinions. People have strong views. We understand that the community has put forth those views to us. Games are loved by many people. It's a form of entertainment that's loved by people. It's connected to people's fond memories in many cases. We understand those emotions. We want to consider that. And that was basically...
We are aware of this, but we don't care. Screw you. Yes. That's what she's saying.
Pretty much.
I also thought she was kind of alluding to nostalgia. As being a motivator behind our everyone being upset, I guess. But yeah,
that's a joke, because it's not nostalgia. It's knowing that by allowing the corporations to do this, we are relinquishing yet another consumer choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But they're trying to couch it as, I know this is an emotional thing. It's like, don't patronize me.
And this bothers me the most. Charlotte points out Sony's share price hasn't dropped.
Yeah.
And it's not going to. This is the problem. All of us look at this and recognize the problem, and we can rail against it, and we can say, you know what, then Sony's not going to get my money anymore. But there is so many people out there that go, oh, get over it, Boomer.
Gave Sony $1 billion in a week just to get that. You guys realize that.
Exactly. And yeah,
$1 billion and gave it to Sony last week, everybody.
Yeah. And
the gamers they come out like, we can't let this happen. We got to buy the physical media, but they've been buying digital for
the past 10 years. So they're just as guilty.
Yeah, they did this to themselves, and they're still doing it. They're out there saying we can buy physical, and meanwhile they just dropped $60 on another new digital game.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And it's like, look, I could get political about this and say you get what you vote for, but it's the same basic concept. You're voting with your dollars, and you're literally enabling them to keep doing this to you. And here's my concern about this that goes against everything that this girl just said. I have one acronym for you. EMP.
Yeah.
All it takes is one good EMP, and you got nothing.
Yeah.
You've got nothing. Your computer's fried. You can't go online. There's no access to this stuff anymore.
To be fair, your record player wouldn't work either. Your record player wouldn't work either.
Nothing would work in electrical in an EMP shock.
That's true, but there is a time after that when you get things running again and you have electricity again, and you can then just pull out your disc and play it.
Well,
that you can't do for them.
Well, I was just going to say, I think the bigger problem here is more so being online than it is having power, right? Because that's the thing that we're being tied to more than anything, is to be able to watch our movies now, watch our TV, listen to our music, play our video games. You have to be online 24/7. And yes, there are ways you can download it to the specific app in certain cases, and with like games, I think you have the Steam option and whatnot like that. Those options are going away quickly, right? Like, I mean,
they want everything in the cloud, Tom. Yeah.
Right. I've seen this with music. I've seen it starting with movies and TV and everything like that, to where I've had to go and buy a lot of my more of my albums as of recently through digital means. And I'll go out and find a high-res version of it because I don't want to pay the same price for a crappy version from Amazon or Apple. But that being said, like, there's like deluxe editions and stuff that aren't even being released on disc anymore, for instance. Or they are, but they're the truncated versions, and if you want the tracks, you got to go to the digital version, right? Like, that's the shitty part. So there's that aspect of it. But that to me is fine, because I can put that on a disc still, right? Like, I can still put that on the disc or put it on the drive. It's there, and I physically have it. That is okay with me as long as I can download it. That's the other problem is you're actually buying these things to download them 9.9 times out of 10, especially the movies and games, right? It's all these, you basically have to be online to whatever server it is to be able to watch the movies or play most of these games. And that's the thing, is I'm not even hooked up to most of my stuff on the games, and I can't play it unless I'm online, which is ridiculous. When you used to be able to just plug in a game before and it would work. That's the other side of it too, is we're already dealing with this stuff, and they've been putting up with this stuff for so long. And believe you me, they came to this conclusion after looking at the numbers, and they saw that a good majority of their users were using things as digital only. They wouldn't make this choice if it wasn't that case, right? So again, to blame the people that are really at cause here are the people that are bitching. That's the sad part, and it's that way for everything too. We're just as guilty of it too when we buy something digitally, video-wise or whatever too. But a lot of times when I do, it's just because it ain't available in any other form than HD or whatever. So it's like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like, do I buy it digitally or do I just sit with my crappy standard definition version that looks like crap? So like, I can understand where they're coming from, especially when you want something now and you don't want to have to go to a store. And that's the other thing, is to buy anything media-wise, it's almost impossible. You have to order it. So that means you got to wait 3 days to get it, no matter where you order it from, if not more than that. And that's the other problem, is you can't walk into a Walmart or a Best Buy anymore and just grab it, right? Like, that's the other problem. So there's so many things stacked against us as, you know, lovers of physical media and video games and movies and music, that no matter what we do, it's a no-win scenario. So this is why I think a lot of people have become like some of us, and that is they're starting their own collections again, and they're rebuilding their collections again, and they've realized what they've lost by giving that stuff away. And I mean, it started with vinyl, and it's now progressed to CD and Blu-ray and stuff like that. And so I have a feeling it's going to keep progressing onto more and more physical media things. We've even seen it in a little VHS revival. You know, that's where I can swing into Greg, because he knows. You got they even slab VHS movies now to buy.
Yeah.
You can buy.
Yeah, you can buy brand new VHS tapes right now. Like, you just look over at once again, to Tom's point, Lionsgate Limited, which is an online, you can only buy those movies online from them, the special versions. They're selling VHS tapes. Like, now you can get like Scream 4 on VHS, or
Leprechaun
Witch on VHS, or the Leprechaun on VHS, with brand new VHS versions. But it's online.
That's cool.
Only.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is like a little mini VHS revival, and there are, like, I've covered on my channel, I've read a lot of articles where like Gen Z has gotten back into DVDs, and one of the things here that people, because I've noticed in the physical media where people like, how's this revival going? A lot of it is coming from thrift stores, because most people are going to the thrift store and buying the DVDs or the VHSs or the Blu-rays that people gave up.
That's my approach. That's been my almost my entire approach, is thrift store based. Yeah.
Which I wonder how they were.
Planet of the Apes VHS set, picked it up for $2.
I like
sealed.
Like that.
Yeah.
I got
that kind of thing. That's my approach. Thrift store, library sales, church sales, garage sales. Some new stuff, but not as much. Oh, the Ruttles.
Nice.
The Ruttles. I love that album.
The inlay stuff and all the booklet stuff in there too. The big. So that's the thing.
Nice.
Yeah, so like it's hard. I don't want to always pull it out because it's so fragile anymore because it's so old. But like, yeah, there's a hell of a collection here. You can't find this kind of stuff anymore.
I've got it.
Yeah, and I've got all the booklets and posters and everything still inside here. There's all kinds of stuff. I can fill it out. I really don't want to, but yeah. So like, yeah, that's the kind of stuff it feels like we lose. And this was just a standard release, right? At the time, this was just.
I bought that for like £2.99 back in the day, you know. But I got the War of the Worlds recently in the thrift store musical version, and it's got again, as well as you get this artwork. This was $2, but you get the funny thing is I'd ordered the CD online the day before, which is weird. But it's also got the booklet as well. So this is the stuff where we want, you know. This is what we want.
The vinyl. I should have grabbed some of my vinyl.
But yeah, I ordered the damn CD. The next day I went to the thrift store and this was here.
You know what? I generally like to have the CD on hand just in case.
I do, because the CD is beautiful.
Vinyl is a pain in the ass. And let me not tell you, I've been doing it a lot in the last fucking 2 weeks. And pardon my French, but it is a pain in the ass. It takes a lot of room on your computer.
I got the CD as well.
That just kind of fixes that issue.
Yeah.
I'm buying CDs again.
Drew G says, I've been a PlayStation owner from the first console. I'm only going to be buying old discs from now on. And when my kid is old enough, I'm not buying him a system with no physical media. Guys, I don't know my consoles. I've never been well, aside from the Atari 2600, I've never been a console owner. So what's the one that's Microsoft? Is that Xbox? So Microsoft had their outage a couple weeks ago, and nobody could do any gaming. And I'm not talking about gaming that was, online against other people or anything like that. No, it was stuff that they had downloaded to their system and should have been able to play, but because you can't have an internet connection, you're screwed. You're done. Too bad.
They also mentioned physical discs in that report, and I kept thinking that maybe the users hadn't set something on their Xbox for offline play because, granted, though, I don't own the newest Xbox. I own the Xbox One. I don't have the Series, so I don't know if this is something new, but yeah.
Let's see. GTA 6 will prove to them digital is the way. You'll all buy it just to play it in the first week.
And $100 for the edition that you have to buy. Let's face it. They're trying to pretend that the $80 version is fine. There's a ton of stuff locked away. So people will complain and then they'll just buy that. $100, bang. And they're hoping, the industry's hoping that's the new standard then, of course.
This is a good segue, actually, to the next article I want to.
Okay.
Just for this one, yeah.
Let me bring that up.
Capcom is expressing similar sentiments. They weren't as nasty though, but discs don't really make sense. Grand Theft Auto 6 boss says Sony understands that, and it kills physical media.
Yeah, exactly. It understands it. That's why it's killing physical media.
Yeah, so Sony's decision to cease manufacturing physical game discs in January 2028 may have brought the wrath of gaming enthusiasts at large, but major publishers seem largely nonplussed by the decision. Both Capcom and Sega have indicated they don't expect to be affected by the move, seeing as their business predominantly relies on digital downloads these days. As prior to Sony's announcements, Grand Theft Auto 6 had already confirmed that it'd only be available as a code in a box. It's not surprising to see Take-Two's bigwig, Strauss Zelnick, speak out in support of PlayStation's decision, then saying discs don't really make sense for the consumer and that downloads are much more convenient. Speaking as part of the questions and answer with investors, the bullish executive said his company's business is already over 90% digital, a similar statistic to Capcom. In fact, when you include microtransactions and DLC into the film firm's financials, its revenue is actually 98% digital. So, yes, this is what he had come out and said recently. So, yeah.
So it's even more than what I said, see?
Yeah.
And of course, one of the justifications for digital many years ago was they said, well, it'll be cheaper for the consumer. it'll be cheaper than the disc. Really?
It seems like this convenience of the digital world is starting to have some major drawbacks.
Oh, it's got a lot of trouble.
Again, if your internet goes out, if their internet goes out, you're screwed. You got nothing. Congratulations. And we haven't even addressed this, although it's been kind of hovering in the background. If they just decide, you know what? We've decided this is there's problematic content in here. We're going to take this away from you. You can't have it anymore. You're done.
Even the director can change stuff, as we're hearing, like, with Pleasantville, that director's changed some things for the new 4K release. There's the Manhunter controversy because no one can get a clear answer if the other versions are going to be available in 4K or not.
Okay. It's a great film.
And this is why I understand, especially, someone like yourself, Tom, who's real into, the high definitions, really, really clear, count the pores on their nose type resolution.
The sweat as I can. Exactly.
but I'm at least, because I'm still mostly DVD, to be honest with you. I'm like, look, as long as I can have a close to original copy, I'm a happy camper. And if they don't release it, see, this isn't true for games, but it's true for music. It's true for movies. If I can watch it, if I can listen to it, I can record it. If I can record it, I can physically own it.
Right.
Actually,
just saying.
I believe people have said this with the good old games store which on PC.
I think you can
actually take those and put them on a disc if you want. I could be wrong.
Yes, that is a feature.
We're doing older games and stuff as far as like ROMs and other things to where you can play them now on emulators and other things. So that is, the thing is, it's funny about this is piracy is going to end up saving so much stuff.
Yes.
Right. It's happened in the past before, so that's nothing new, but it's going to be a whole new ball game in the next 10, 20, 30 years when people go back and try to discover something when they, find something, right? Because as you go back and look at things, it's going to be difficult to figure it all out once you get through the mire and the mess of the editing and the other bullcrap that they put out around it, and people start to realize, oh, there's this version, there's that version, and there's so many differences between every version. Because when they remaster the movies now, and this is the thing that it really upsets me and why I wish they would get them right the first time, if they do it all, because when they do these 4K masters, these are the versions that are going to be forever known, right? Like, these are the ones that are going to be solidified on the digital streams, the ones you see on TV, the ones that are shown in theaters, in any place that's available. This is the version that's going to be available now. And if they screw that up, then that means the rest is going to be screwed up in the future.
You have to go back to the right print, the source print.
Well, they've got home video divisions that are gutted, and they're trying to deprioritize this, and so you've got a lot of people in there working who they're not even historians and archivists. They don't even know what half these movies are supposed to look and sound like when they start working on them. I mean, that's how you get, as much as this movie isn't loved by many people, it's still a boneheaded mistake on their part. When you get Superman 4 on 4K with the completely wrong score, like a rejected early score, you know that that's Warner Brothers, and that's a tentpole title, meaning
you need to have that as an audio track. We need the original too.
The entire audio track and soundtrack was completely wrong. You're sitting there going, okay, we've reached the nadir of home video brain trust. Like
they just don't know. They didn't even know.
This is also where what you often say, Michael, the fans are doing the best work. Someone in the chat, and I'm sorry, I think it was, I don't know who it was. I saw the comment go by. Said something about having just today watched the despecialized Empire Strikes Back. That exists because of fans.
Right.
That's not Lucasfilm. We can't count on Lucasfilm to ever. There you go. See.
I'll point you to the. I was gonna say the 4K 77, 80, and 83 releases are amazing. And they actually feel and look like we remember the movies. I damn near cried the first time I watched 4K 77 because I was like, holy crap, I haven't seen Star Wars look like this since I was a kid. Because ever since the THX versions, actually ever since the beginning, George has always tinkered with them. But I mean, that's when he kind of really started messing with the color timing and the look of the film, and it started getting sterilized. Like, you watch the 4K versions of them now, they feel so sterilized. It's like, oh my God, what happened here? It's like, did he shoot these on the same set as THX 1138 or what? Because it just looks horrible. There's no life to them at all. And that's the other problem, is you got a lot of these people that it's too grainy, it's too noisy, it's too this, it's too that. Guess what, kids? Film grain is film. I hate to tell you that. That's resolution, right? And I don't know why people don't understand that. It's like, if you have a high resolution, it's going to look like that. It's just the way it was. It's the way that film emulsion is, man. It's just
there's a segment,
but still,
you know, it's like
Sorry, it's the maximum amount of information. There's only a maximum amount of information available on the film. So that's what you're going to get. You can't get more than the amount of information that was put on there.
What they try to do is they try to smear out the grain, or they try to denoise it. And it's like, all you're doing is taking out resolution, really. You're not adding anything back into it or making it look better, in quotations. Maybe for somebody who can do the same thing on their see, this is the other thing, is you're basically doing the same thing that some idiot could do at home on their TV by turning on motion smoothness.
Right.
And earlier this week, I was talking in one of my lunch streams, specifically inspired by Brian on a previous stream of his, talking about vinyl and how there are younger people that are starting to get into vinyl now, surprisingly. And they recognize there is something to be said for that grain and the pops and the clicks and the so on and so forth. Well, to the point. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and all the problems that are coming about with them, like Terminator 2 is a grand example of it, right? Like, where everybody looks maxy as hell. Is it just makes people think that film is a bad thing and that digital is better, or that digital is a bad thing and that film is better. One way or the other. It's like, no, the tools are great for when they're used for the correct reasons, right? Like, it's just like the misconception for years that people would go, oh, no, CDs don't sound as good as vinyl. It's like, well, that's just scientifically impossible.
Right.
Okay, I don't know how I can get around to telling you that.
It's a subjective matter whether they sound better or not. But they sound different, but that's not necessarily meaning one is better than the other.
But at the end of the day, you could logistically argue that because of the way sonics work and how sound works, frequencies work, CDs carry all the frequencies that the original master tape could ever produce. CDs, on the other hand, have fall off. So unless you're listening to them at a specific level, then you're not getting the dynamic range you're supposed to. CDs are a little different in that respect, but that's what Brian's getting at, is they're both coming from a similar source. But also the other thing that records have that give people that warm feeling, or that they feel like it sounds better, is they have that RIAA roll-off, right? So that's something they lost when we went to CD, so that made CD sound crisper and cleaner instead of having that warm, fuzzy vinyl feeling. If you strip that away from the vinyl sounds just like the CD at the end of the day.
To paraphrase an old joke, Tom, you can't roll a joint on a digital download. You can on a vinyl album.
Exactly. That's another problem, too.
You couldn't do it on a CD either. It was really difficult.
I like the analogy.
Not that I condone such things.
I like the analogy, Tom, of two different mediums, different tool, right? I mean, it's not too dissimilar from the idea of you can drive a nail with a screwdriver, but you're probably better off with a screwdriver. And if you want to drive,
it's not that different, but yeah.
You know, exactly. I want to thank Clue Studio.
I think it's more
for
like
$5
comparing
super
tennis shoes
chat.
to flip flops, but yeah.
Well, there's that too. But they'll both protect your feet, but in different ways. Thank you so much, Clue, for that. I'm praying for the vinyl 3D printer before 2030. You know,
that would be interesting.
Well, that's another thing too. Taking information. That's what 3D printers do. They take information, ideas. You throw it out there, I take it and print it, and now I got the widget. You know, you just bypass.
That's where I feel like, you know, with all the downloading and stuff, that's where digital gets a bad rep. I don't want people to feel that way about digital, because look, I'll be honest with you. Most of the time, this is the best version of anything you're going to find. Unless it was mastered wrong, this is the best version you're ever going to get, unless you can get your hands on the high-res audio masters, which are going to cost you a little more if they're even available. So, and again, there was this misconception that because of the way that it was originally told to people, that people thought they were missing parts of the music or it was missing things digitally. It's like, no, you got to understand, they're looking at it at an extremely microscopic level of the waveform and where the dots line up. Like, you got to understand that this is as precise as you can get it to the original master tapes. Whatever you're feeding into this, it's going to sound like just like that coming out the other end, right? Like, that's what people need to understand. It's all about the mastering process. The same thing goes with a 4K Blu-ray, a standard Blu-ray, a DVD. Hell, Greg, I'll tell you, we've come across some standard DVDs that look damn near as good as Blu-rays. It all has to do with the mastering process at the end of the day. So yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to mention.
Welcome, Tim Hayes.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Tim.
I just wanted to say hi to Tim.
Oh, I just wanted to mention real quick, Tom. I think about the chat. I think you're coming through a little fuzzy.
It sounds like you've got a chromatic microphone.
What is going on? Yeah, that's weird.
Like, we can make out what you're
I just
saying,
turned off
You're
my AI's noise and echo
distorted.
cancel. Really? That's weird.
Yeah, loud and distorted.
Let me try.
And you sound like you're from the Midwest, which is really off-putting.
Well, that's normal. I can't do anything about that.
He is from the.
But the other thing,
but so are we. So
the other thing that makes no sense about this, which is what Tom just brought up, especially with the CD format, these studios, they will give you access to something in one area, but not in a user-friendly.
Hello, is that better?
So, for example, Tom and I went through all this drama 3 years ago with the soundtrack to Dial of Destiny, because even though the movie sucked, we wanted John Williams' last major score. And they brought out this very bare bones release that you could barely get. It sold out within seconds, right? It barely had any of the tracks on it. But then they put out a 4K edition of the movie where you could do score-only viewing, which means you could watch the movie with the entire score. So, of course, enterprising fans are like, nobody can get the disc that barely has any music on it, but they locked the whole score alone, isolated, on a version of the home video disc you can buy. And so fans are now putting out these
making their own.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so it's just like the decisions they're making at a what do you call it? Not a commodity. What's the word I'm looking for? They use that word.
Commercial level.
It's what they call their property. I'm losing my words.
IP,
or at that IP level, they're making these weird decisions where it's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and everybody in the consumer group is just ticked off.
Well, we see that in a lot of different places. It's not just one; it's always a lot of them. Like, it's whoever's in control of this stuff. And you're right. It's you were bringing up the point earlier, where it's a lot of times it's because these people that, you got some 30-year-old person who wasn't even around when most of this stuff was around, right? Like, they don't even understand that's how Masters of the Universe happens. Let's be real, like, to be kind of obvious, like, because there's so many people who go like, oh yeah, that's what I remember the cartoon being like. It's like, what cartoon did you watch?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not what I remember. I don't remember any fisting jokes. I don't remember, Drunken saying that Tila is the man he wishes he could be. Any of that crap. And not only that, in the opening credits, it says that only 3 other people know his secret. Well, in that movie, it's the worst kept secret in the world. So I'm not trying to bitch about Motu, but I'm just saying that's the problem we have here. Is it's that old Frank Zappa analogy where originally the record exec, the old guy chomping on a cigar, is like, I don't understand what the kids want, but you sure seem to know what the kids want. Go ahead, you pick it. And then sooner or later, that record executive, he becomes the head of the thing, but he thinks he knows everything now. Yep. See, and that's the generation we're in, is where they think they know everything now, and they're not going to listen to any outside sources, because that's what we keep hearing throughout all these things, throughout all these medias. The last thing they want is any fans actually working on any things, because it's not because they're afraid of whatever. They just don't want people to tell them they're doing something wrong. That's really what it is at the end of the day. They don't want them to say, well, you can't do this because it was an episode this and this and that they did this and they did that. It's like, well, we don't want to hear that. We just want to do our thing, and that's it. It's like, well, then you're not really truly understanding what it is you're making, are you? Right? And it's the same thing with Indiana Jones. Like, that was a great example. You brought that one up, because that movie, at the end of the day, there is a good movie in there. Out of all these crappy movies that we've gotten, there's a better movie in there than probably Crystal Skull. All you had to do at the end of the day was just replace Fleabag with Short Round.
Yes.
And it's all there. And then just basically his little sidekick that you would give him, the little Somali kid or whatever he was, you break his arm or something so then he can understand why Indy gave him up to adoption when he was a kid. See, because you just have the whole thing that he's angry and he's just out for riches and fortune and fame like he was when he kid, but he's all angry at Indy because he gave him up to an adoption agency or something like that because he realized he's just putting this kid in danger. Right? Especially after the shit that happened in Temple of Doom. So you basically have to explain that to the kid. That's the only thing you'd have to add to that entire story. And you know what else? Just don't kill Mutt. Nobody gives a shit if we see him or not. Just don't kill him. We don't care. That's just a mean-ass thing to do to the guy. Because it did turn Indy into a piece of shit, and then it made fucking them get a divorce. Nobody wants to see that. We do not want to see them get married to just turn around and get a divorce. That is the stupidest shit in the world. Right? So why would people even think to do something like that? Well, it's because you get people who don't understand what fans really want at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that we have a brain trust vacuum going on right now in Hollywood, where at every level, whether you're talking about home video remastering, the preservation of home video, this idea that every studio is now going to be vertically integrated through a streaming service, even though they've learned the hard way but still won't face reality that that's a revolving door of constant unsubs and subs revenue. You're never gonna equal the home video revenue you used to get from physical media, but yet they're still trying to square peg that round hole. So you've got people that don't know the history of movies. They don't appreciate home video. They're not good writers. They're not good directors. You know, like Troy, you saw my Final Fight video for Masters of the Universe. I mean, the filmmaking is horrible. Like, it's absolutely horrible.
So without giving anything away on that, no, I think it's important for me to bring this up. Michael takes a movie that he's seen and realizes that the editing is just effed up. You did it in terms of a fight scene, but the fight scene has to go in a certain order with your brain recognizes when there's something going on in the background, it needs to be happening contemporaneously with this. If that's not the case, then if you're showing things sequentially, then this happens and then this happens, and if they're not happening at the same time, you're like, wait, that should have happened, 5 minutes ago. What's going on? And all the action outside came to a halt, and people that know editing, right? Maybe not. That's not how the writer wrote it, right? But the editor has to say, I need to make sure the sequence matches what the writer intended. That's why there's different positions that exist, and I don't think that skill, that talent, exists anymore in Hollywood.
It doesn't. It's the same problem.
Or at least I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it's the same problem Tom was just pointing out with the writers and how they don't know how to write a script anymore. Like, I love the scene in Apollo 13. It's the one everybody cites where the guy goes, "We got to make this fit into this using only this." And you look at what these studios have greenlit, and you go, "Okay, they had all these pieces and they set them up on the board this way." Yeah. Are they all drunk? Like, what? Like, if you just set these, it still wouldn't have been a stellar movie.
Working on it.
Set them up on the board this way, the movie would have worked better. Similarly, you've got people with the same mentality because they're all people with MBAs. They all look at every product like it's a widget. So in every department in entertainment, they go, well, we've got all these options for revenue streams. What do you think we should do? We've got home video, we've got streaming, we've got licensing to cable, we've got all these things. What should we do? Well, let's kill everything else and just go with streaming. And you go, I don't.
Best boneheaded thing in history.
Yeah, they all jumped into it without even knowing what streaming was. They're like, "Oh, Netflix did it. Let's do it."
I keep comparing streaming, and I've said this many times. I said streaming is like. If you have a business and you put in change machines, right? And I'm coming through somebody's mic. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some.
It might be mine. Is my mic sounding any better yet?
No, it's terrible. Tom.
No,
what is going on with my mic? I don't understand.
You're very loud, very distorted.
I've turned everything down.
I can understand what you're saying. That's not the issue. It's just a little.
I can't get a word of what he's saying, Michael. I'm sorry. He's just sounds. Tom, I don't understand a word.
Oh, you are. Yeah, it's just because you're Scottish, you dumb bastard. Diddly potatoes. Now you understood
Diddly
me.
potatoes. But
How's this? Is this better?
Michael's just hit the key thing on the head there. Why we are still collecting physical media, especially when I'm getting all the old stuff that I maybe had before and I got rid of and now I'm getting again. This is the stuff worth having because the talent is gone.
Oh, you muted. That's fine.
The new stuff is the new material that's being put out is terrible. We must get libraries of old quality material.
Let's help Tom out real quick. Tom, can you just double check and make sure that it's actually picking up your preferred
I have
mic?
checked 12 times.
No, you're underwater.
Times. Yeah, I don't know. It's on the. I've changed it even to the just straight mic. So I don't know what is going on.
That's the problem. You should have kept using your gay mic.
You actually do sound a lot better than you did at the beginning of the
You do.
Yeah.
You did.
You do.
Now that's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I still can't understand the word you're saying though.
Gosh.
And that's the best I can do for now.
That's fair. So what I was saying is that I just streaming is to me like putting in change machines in the laundromat. You put in change machines and you're like, wait, you're saying I put in all these change machines and I broke even? I got to put in more change machines. You know, that's kind of what streaming is. And it's like, have you forgotten? You used to make your money, you'd put it out at the theater, you'd at least break even, maybe make a profit. Then you would license it to the cable company, and then you'd make more money on that licensing. Then maybe you would license it to the commercial television, make more money there. Then you would release the physical media, make more money there. Then you re-release the physical media with special upgrades or director's cut or the commentaries and stuff, make more money. And then you would put it on your own proprietary Disney Channel on cable, and it's now content after you've made money upon money upon money. And apparently these companies hate to make money. That's the only conclusion I can make.
Yeah, then I wanted to say this. His point is like what that is like Matt Damon himself was talking about not too long ago. Is like when they would make a movie and it would go to the theater. Matt Damon, and it would go to the theater.
I can't help
whether it was a success or not. When it would release on home video, they would get like a whole nother box office. You would get like another $100 million. Now with the going straight to video on demand or streaming, they're making pennies to where they were making dollars before. And on top of that, like we talked about piracy and fans making things, like as the moment that file hits a video on demand now, piracy is at an all-time high. There are people immediately downloading that file, torrenting it, making their own physical media copies and selling them before the companies start selling their own physical media. So like I don't get this mindset of like, well, streaming is the most successful thing we've ever done. It's like, no, most of these companies outside of Netflix are losing money.
Well, Greg, it also to me has diminished the value of the movie or song or TV show itself because it's instantly available. Now, we all got used to that and we kind of go, oh, great, now I can see this whole show in one go. It's devalued it as an experience. We used to have to wait to get that DVD. And we would wait with eager anticipation. And in the meantime, we'd seen the movie in the cinema. Now we're like, well, you know, it's just going to be on streaming tomorrow. Who cares? You know.
Yeah. There's another problem with that too. There, though, Brian. It's not just being impatient. It's also the concern or fear or whatever that they're not going to release the version I saw in the theater, the one that I can pirate right now. They're going to release the version that takes that one line out or that one scene or does something else. But this is what they're really afraid of, is the democratization of our ability to make our own stuff. So as you guys were talking about downloading something and making your own physical media, which that's part of owning physical media, folks, it made me think of The Mandalorian, right? When that came out, they did the same thing that they did when Star Wars first came out, had no idea what a marketing behemoth it was going to be. So the toys weren't ready to go. But back in the 70s, all we could do was wait and buy some card stock that was basically a promise.
Merchandising.
Whereas now, people say, oh, yes, he is. And your sound sounds fine now.
Say something, Tom.
Are you sure? Because everything is still loud for me.
Whoa, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
No, perfect. Perfect on our end.
But I still
Turn
can't
us
understand
down
what
and
you're
you're
saying.
fine. Oh, jeez.
Diddly potato.
Diddly potatoes.
Freedom! No, sorry.
Thank you.
They can't take our freedom.
But they can.
No, it'll be fine. but then the Mandalorian comes out, and you have everybody and their brother on Etsy, 3D printing and crocheting Grogu's all over the place, so that by the time they finally get Grogu figures out, everyone's already kind of Grogu'd out. Well, maybe they're not. There's still some cat moms out there that are all over Grogu, but they're the only ones that went to see this last movie, I'm guessing. Real quick before we jump into the next topic, let's all get our glasses refilled. I want to promote myself and some other people, and then we'll be back in just about 2.5, 3 minutes. Be right back.
You are watching Last Call, streaming every Friday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Come on in, pull up a chair, and have a drink with us.
This week, on Saturday night at the movies, an overachieving London police sergeant is transferred to a village where the easygoing officer...
Hopefully my audio...
Actually, no, I'm gonna skip the promos because I realized I did not upload the most recent promo. So you're gonna get the wrong one. You're gonna get last week's movie, and you don't want that. So
you just got me all worked up for nothing then. I was all excited.
I know. Don't worry about it.
Such a tease.
I am. You got to catch me during the lunch show. Besides, that would have been 3 wasted minutes anyway when I've got you guys here. So let's go on to the next one. Actually, a topic that I've been wanting to get at that we've kind of glossed over a little bit. Boomer, do you have the topic about physical media making a comeback?
Yes, let me get one of those feel-good articles. Which
I mean, yeah, you could call it feel good. I kind of feel like it's never going to go away as long as the fans have the ability to make their own physical media. But let's add this in there. The old VCR may be worth more than you think as physical media revival takes hold. Tell us about this, Uncle Boomer.
I don't know. I have my own opinions on VCRs, but anyway, let me just scroll down.
Oh, you're a Betamax guy, I know.
We've talked about this before.
Yes, we have.
Actually, the superior thing. So here we go. The old VCR may be worth more than you think as physical media revival takes hold.
Yep.
That dusty video cassette recorder gathering dust in the attic or basement may now command far higher prices than anyone expected just a few years ago. A growing return of physical media has driven demand for these once common household items, pushing values sharply higher across online marketplaces and specialty sellers. Standalone units have become increasingly scarce on major retail sites, while combination DVD and VCR players routinely list for more than $200. On secondary platforms, machines in good working order that still include the original remote frequently sell for over $60, with many examples exceeding $100. Factory-sealed new in-box models have climbed past the $300 mark. Even higher-end units missing their remotes, items that once sold for nearly nothing at garage sales, now fetch as much as $70. This unexpected rebound stems from several overlapping trends. Nostalgia for analog formats has grown among younger collectors who never lived through the original era, while older owners seek to digitize family recordings before the tapes degrade further. Streaming fatigue and concerns over digital ownership have also sent some viewers back toward tangible media they can hold and control. With new production of pure VHS machines have ended. Okay, well, new production that's not my typo. Okay. Pure VHS machines have ended years ago. The finite supply of working hardware has tightened, elevating prices for anything that still functions reliably. The technology itself traces a long path from professional broadcasting equipment to the living room staple. And of course, these first became available in 1956 when Ampex introduced the VRX 1000, a massive and costly machine that used 2-inch wide tape and was affordable only for television networks.
Troy's old enough to remember that machine.
Oh, really? Okay. And then, of course, it brings up Betamax. But I just wanted to go into, are we nostalgic for the VCR? I guess that's my big question.
I have.
Yeah.
One.
Well, I mean, Greg's kind of his whole opening of every video is around the VHS.
Yeah. Look, I don't have a problem with anybody collecting what they want to collect as far as, like, you know, revisiting or visiting an old format. I think that's always a great curiosity, and I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is seeing the people who are buying, and if Greg is one of them, I apologize in advance. I have a problem with the whole people buying graded VHS tapes like they're.
Oh my gosh!
No, I don't. Well, that's what I was thinking fun of before when he said they even slab them now. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a guy bragging on social media the other day, gleefully, about how he had bought from another member of that group, which Facebook forced it into my feed. He had bought from another member of that group a graded, sealed CBS Fox copy of The Empire Strikes Back, and he paid.
I've got 3.
Just right. He paid just under $3,000.
Just dumb.
Oh, come on. I get them for nothing. They're giving them away in thrift stores.
Yeah,
and
right.
This was a seal.
So you're missing an opportunity. You should be slapping a grade on it and selling it for 5 times as much.
That could have been sitting next to a magnet for like 20 years and just nothing.
Well, and that's the thing is you're not buying the movie. You're not buying the movie at that point. You're buying
You're never going to watch that.
Collectability.
Yeah. Right.
And at the end of the day, it's maybe worth $300 at best.
At best.
At best. Yeah.
And that's sealed, brand new, and that's just because of the collectability factor.
Overinflated, yeah. But I mean, I get VHSs at thrift stores and charity stuff, and it's the only things that, like, I got those Planet of the Apes sealed VHSs. I won't ever watch them, but they look great on the shelf. You know, so I collect Canon Films VHSs. If I see those, like a Chuck Norris or a Charles Bronson, whatever. So certain VHSs, but just because they look good on the shelf, hell, I like things like this. Things like this. I mean, I got that for nothing.
Right.
You know?
Oh, Gino.
Right.
Look at
So
that.
why not? It's a great movie. I'll never watch the VHS because I've got it in digital anyway, and I probably would have it in another. But it looks good on the shelf. But there's no reason to buy them to watch them because it's not a great experience to watch them.
Now see, I watch mine. I watch mine because I do get an experience out of it. Yes,
the only ones I watch are the Hockey Night in Canada ones.
Never in a million years would I say that a VHS is better than a Blu-ray or 4K. Tom does. Me and Tom, we buy Blu-rays and 4Ks. I love the highest quality HDR sound. I love that. But there are times where I do get nostalgic, and I have I have a VCR with a TV, a CRTV built it to it stuff. But there's time where I get nostalgic, and I will pull off my VHS tapes and I will watch them. Now, there's something about the hum. Yes, there's something about the horrible quality of them that I get into, and I love it. It's a 100% nostalgic thing.
Well, and I had a movie like this just finally came out on Blu-ray a few years ago, but you couldn't get it anywhere but VHS.
There are. It's true that there are certain VHSs that are hard to get on any other format.
You cannot get on anything but.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good movie, but it's just the point of having it, you know?
Yeah.
And then for a while, these were the only ways you could get any of Freddy's Nightmares were on VHS.
Yeah, and horror stuff is quite collectible in VHS.
Yes, it is.
And there's still stuff that's on this VHS/Laserdisc that never made its way to the DVD Blu-rays yet.
Yeah, and also what Tom is not showing us is his porn collection on VHS.
Well,
HD, my friend.
super huge HD. But yeah, I actually have bitter regrets, so which is why I'm on this rebuilding streak of my library. About 20 years ago or so, I got rid of a large number of VHS tapes that I had because I was moving house a lot. I was carting these boxes, or I had hundreds of VHS releases, and now I bitterly regret that.
Wow.
These were the hard plastic case. I had all the original Doctor Who releases from the BBC, stuff like that. Lots of music concerts and music video collections. And now I bitterly regret that. So if I see any of that stuff now, I snap it up. But I'm wondering, like, the Doctor Who stuff's fairly collectible. It's all the classic the first BBC releases of the classic Doctor Who stuff.
Right, like in a normal world, back when we would just be the normal collecting world before this grading and other crap that came involved in it. Like, I hate that.
Yeah,
that's just I wish I had them just for having.
Yeah, but there is some collectability to certain things, like, a display thing, or just to have, if it's a favorite movie of yours, to have every version of it or something like that. There's the ones I get a kick out of are these guys who have picked a single movie that they're going to buy every single VHS copy they ever see of it.
Yeah, like
there's the Titanic guy, there's the Shrek guy, the Speed guy,
the Batman and Forever guy. I've seen the Batman Forever guy. He's got like thousands of them.
Yeah, he's got they got thousands of copies of the same movie.
Cocoon. If you see Cocoon, get a copy of Cocoon on VHS or DVD.
Yes. Yeah, because Blu-ray, it's imported, and that's still expensive too.
Yeah.
I still have my VHS of Ninja Scroll, which Michael did a video on a little while.
And Cocoon makes no sense.
Nice.
Why is this movie not on disc?
I don't understand it. No.
Well, it's a Ron Howard movie. It's a huge hit. It's a Disney film now.
There's another one like that, Splash.
Well, Disney, I can understand why they won't do that one.
Right, but you can get Splash on Blu-ray. It's out of print, but it was released on Blu-ray unedited in Australia.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was a good handful of Disney Touchstone.
Hey, Tony, can you help me out?
Was that an Umbrella, or no? It'd be Disney.
Yeah, because even Turner and Hooch is expensive as hell because they never released it in the U.S.
Right.
I've got some Disney VHS that I pick up in thrift stores. Aristocrats I got the other day.
Yeah, well, the Disney ones have a collectible factor, but a lot of that's went out the window too.
It's just because I like the movies and I like to see them on the shelf along with the Blu-rays. Yeah.
But the issue that you guys are bringing up is very real, which is when you find out that it's been released in some region, like for example, Iron Eagle has only been released officially on Blu-ray in Spain, right?
Right. Okay.
Right. You think to yourself, well, do I sit on this and not buy it and hope that it comes out in my region? It may never. So, for example, about 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I picked up Name of the Rose from.
Oh God, I love that.
In France, this is the French release of Name of the Rose with Sean Connery. Thankfully, they turned around and announced a broader European release outside of France, and now they've announced a British 4K release. So I'm convinced that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't dropped a lot of money on this copy.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they did. But sometimes that doesn't happen, like with Iron Eagle. It just doesn't happen. And so do you grab it then, or do you roll the dice?
Yeah, there's things you can get only in Germany and places like that.
And I even have Iron Eagle 2 that I had to import as well.
Yep, I got that one too.
These are two examples as well here.
Yeah. Why you would want Highlander Endgame, I don't know, but
why would you?
Love torturing myself.
It's funny how they
it's not like it's Highlander 2.
They skipped the second movie for some reason. There's no such movie as Highlander 2. It's weird.
What is it?
Oh my God.
No, that doesn't exist. See, that's fake.
As much of a completist as I am, I don't even have that.
So
I'll defend you. I still kind of like.
So to Michael's point, I buy a lot of stuff from Umbrella in Australia, especially the Korean stuff. I get things like because I'm a big Korean movie fan. So Chaser, GSA, these are all Umbrella releases. They're fantastic.
Yep.
Brilliant. I love I'm a Korean aficionado, as anyone knows my channel would know. So Umbrella in Australia does a lot of those things.
Yep.
And they're I don't know. I mean, you can get the movies elsewhere, but they do the great box sets of them, and not just Korean stuff like the Raid.
Just keep in mind that like some of these things are region locked, though.
That Raid. Well, I've got multi-region players. So
that's what I'm saying. I just want to let people know if they're listening that they can't just think they can go out and buy this stuff and be like,
this Umbrella does great stuff in Australia.
The 4K disc though is always region free.
99% of the time.
Yeah, there's been a few that.
But like Australia's knocking it out of the park. Like I just got the Battle of Britain limited imprint set.
Which is funny, I really want Disney or anybody else anymore.
That's on my list. I can only get so much new stuff money wise every so, but that's on my list, Michael.
Well, the problem with Australia is the price of import. Oh my god! Like I'll spend 3 or 4 times as much as most of the movies would be if just in the importing it.
I did a whole stream on that movie. In fact,
Tom, I got to tell you this real quick. So you brought up a Blu-ray of Highlander 2.
Yeah.
So when I went on the trip to Egypt with Graham Hancock, the actor who is on stage doing Hamlet when Sean Connery appears, he was there with his family in my group.
Oh,
wow. And I hung out with him. That family like adopted me the whole 2 hours.
Wow.
So there I was hanging out with Stephen Grives, a.k.a. the Highlander 2 Hamlet guy. He was also the bad guy in the Beastmaster TV show. He was like the main villain.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I was hanging out with him and his family the whole time. This Australian, British/Australian family. They find me like a divining rod. It's really weird. Like, but anyway, I just had to tell you that because the whole time I was in Egypt, I was like, Highlander 2. Yeah.
Virginia Man's the only reason to watch Highlander 2. I agree. Absolutely.
It's funny is because I downloaded a 35mm print of what I thought was going to be the original version, and it turns out it's the batshit crazy third cut that most people haven't seen.
Is that the one where they like floated in space at the end?
Yes, and at the end of the space floating. Yeah.
And see, that's the thing.
Oh my gosh.
Without physical,
it doesn't exist.
No, without physical media. With only streaming as our options, you're never going to have a streaming service that allows you to watch every version of Highlander 2.
Well, look at Apocalypse Now. There's like at least 3 cuts of that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And you can't even get them all on one set. If you want to get them, you have to buy different discs to get them.
That's not true. You can get one now, but like Blade Runner's the same way. But
Tom, stop contradicting.
If it weren't for physical media, you couldn't have. I don't know what edition it's called, but I've got it on my shelf. The Blade Runner, all the different cuts. Yeah. You know,
relives
for crying out loud, and you can yell at me because you don't like the voiceover version, but I love it, you know, and I can have it. You know, there you go.
But your point is sound, because that's the problem, right? Like on streaming, the only version you're ever going to find is that final cut.
Yeah, and I don't know
exactly right.
I forget myself.
Maron.
Where's the final cut? Yeah, but they're all on here somewhere.
I don't.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah,
I forget. And he's sitting and editing them all together to make one super duper edit or something. You know,
well, that's what you want to do. There's certain fan cuts on YouTube of movies that have got everything edited together, which is great.
Well, there's even been fan cuts that have made their way to home video, and that's why I love the boutique companies, because like if you'll notice, there's a large percentage of the stuff we're probably talking about or showing, even like the Robin Hood one I showed earlier.
Yeah.
They're only being kept alive because of these boutique companies, and they're putting everything they can into them. And Arrow being one of the main ones.
Yes.
Vinegar Syndrome. Even Kino Lorber in a budget
Another good Korean movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. That's an Arrow.
88 Films is another one.
Nice.
88's great,
Yeah.
More great Korean stuff.
This is what I was wanting to talk about. Go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say, this is what I was wanting to talk about earlier when you were talking about how these people in the studios that gutted their home video department and nobody over there knows what they're doing. It's like the boutique labels, that's where most of them are at right now. And for like people like us, they're doing the magnificent work of fixing the color, leaving in the grain. In some cases, you even get the cigarette burns from when it was, because they can't get it out, and it looks beautiful.
If they don't have a negative, for instance.
If they don't have a negative, it's like an inner positive or something. And we're at it's a bit of a double sword, because a lot of the people out there don't know about these boutique labels like we do, or that in some cases, they can be a little expensive.
Right?
And we will buy them. I buy them, you know, but in their limited run. So to them people are like, well, I'm not going to buy that. And the thing is, that's a sort of a double-edged sword there. And also to your guys' point, like you were talking about these multiple cuts and everything. I literally got a comment on one of my videos not too long ago where somebody was in my comment section said, because I was talking about how there looks like they're going to probably put the work print of the Last Boy Scout on the Arrow release of the last Boy Scout.
Yeah, that's coming out soon. Yeah.
Yeah. The person was like, "Wouldn't it be awesome if they put these alternate cuts on streaming? They don't even make CDs, DVDs, or Blu-rays anymore."
Right.
And I'm like, I don't even know if he's serious or not.
Well, there was a true story a few years ago here in the United States where somebody on social media, some young woman was like, and I'm not trying to disparage the gender, I'm just giving you a mental picture. And she said, it'd be really nice if there was like a place where people could go and just like borrow books.
Oh, God.
And everybody was like, like, because we've gotten so used to buying online, everybody's like add to cart and this and that. She's like, I just wish I could just try out a book rather than buy it. And
there's another level to that too.
I was in my library today. I was in my local library today.
There's another level, unfortunately, to that is if you go into your local libraries, they're not even so much books and magazines, and newspapers and articles and stuff like that anymore. It's all videos.
Right.
There are
but that's good because our local library has an annual, twice annual sale, and in fact, it's really a giveaway because you just have to donate. They put out shelves of stuff that is basically take what you want. Ton of DVDs, Blu-rays, as well as a ton of great books, and twice a year I get a whole load of stuff out of that for, you're talking 20 cents. I donate, but that's a good thing, Tom, that they have videos.
Yes and no. Like it's kind of like it's taken over because we don't have the video rental, especially for like more rural areas and for people who can't afford,
I'm in a rural area,
services and stuff like that. And then on the other side of it, though, it just goes to show you how little people actually read physical books anymore. Right. Because that means that the demand for them has gone down so low that the libraries have been able to allocate that much money to media as opposed to books and magazines and such. So
I did want to bring up Davina Duckworth's comment. She says, I watched The Hot Spot with Don Johnson, Virginia Madsen, and Jennifer Connelly. And then I didn't read any further because once you've said Virginia Madsen and Jennifer Connelly, that's all I need to hear. I've got to see The Hot Spot. It's
a great movie. I like that movie. I've always liked that movie.
Don Johnson was very happy on that set.
Johnson.
I'm sure he was.
There was Johnsons everywhere, as far as the eye could see.
9 months later, little Johnson's running everywhere. No.
Oh, and I did.
But this is encouraging. DVDs, Blu-rays, discs, and VHS tapes are cool again. I suppose the thing is that's why they're killing them, I guess.
Well, what's funny about it is that these sales are going up despite what I said earlier, right? Like meaning that people actually have to go out and get these. And this isn't counting like thrift shop or resale store sales. Right. Like that was the thing is for years when vinyl was like on the uptick, people weren't paying attention, but in the background, CD sales were flying high in these record stores because that was the only place you could go to get cheap music.
Yep.
Like I could walk in and walk out of with a stack of CDs for like $50. Yeah. And when I say a stack of CDs, I'm talking like a stack of CDs. Not, not just 5. We used to get for $50. Yeah.
This was what I was talking to because there's this guy I know up in Michigan who owns his own video store, and he's doing buku business up there, right? He's inside of a mall, and he went from like this one store inside a mall, just like a little store. Now he's like got 3 spaces. He's filled up it like, and he holds like things there where celebrities come, meet and greets. Huge video store now. And he was curious because that's what I wanted to mention earlier is like with everybody buying from thrift stores and stuff, he was like curious how they record those sales because physical media is selling more than we think, but they don't record the thrift store sales because that's not. No. Yeah, that's already been sold.
And that's where I get 90% of my stuff, and I've had some real excellent bargains out of those. Thousands of great things.
Well, that's the first thing I tell anybody who's like, because I get a lot. Greg, one of our biggest questions we probably get all the time is, I'm just getting back into physical media. What do I do? I'm overwhelmed. Where do I start? Well, the first thing I usually tell them is either make a list of your top 25 or 100 movies, CDs, whatever you want in your collection, right? Start there. And then you'll notice once you start filling in those blanks of those ones that you want, you'll start realizing, oh, I want to have this too and this too, and it'll just start growing and ballooning, and you'll start to remember what you want.
Yeah, you fill in the blanks in your collection that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, like we were talking about earlier, I don't mind getting a DVD as opposed to a Blu-ray. I'm not like Tom. I'm not an optical fetishist.
Same here. Yeah,
I don't mind. So, or Blu-rays as opposed to 4K. So you get this is a thrift store purchase, $2.
Right.
Rome.
Yeah.
The entire season in the box. Blu-rays, $2.
Nice.
Well, and a lot of cases you're not going to get anything but Blu-ray. So
this is what you can get in thrift stores, everybody.
That's a hell of a deal. Like, look, I even keep some older ones for either reference or because they don't carry things over, right? Like that's the other problem that we were just discussing too, is because these guys they don't know how they just want to put on like a big 5.1 or Dolby Atmos soundtrack. They don't give a crap about the original audio. They don't even pay attention to what version they're necessarily putting out sometimes per se. Whether there's people out there that are still alive that could actually, attribute something to these, they don't really care, pay to spend the time to do it, or they just don't have the budget to do it as well, right? Is the other problem. But it's so sad when, go ahead. Sorry, Brian.
If you wanted to do a strategy I do buy new stuff. You've seen some of the Arrow and Umbrella stuff I've got. But if you wanted a strategy to build a physical media library of just thrift stores, garage sales, church sales. I go to one of my regular churches in this little town I live in. Twice a year they have a sale, 5-10 cents for a Blu-ray. If you get 10 CDs, you get them for like 50 cents. They're practically giving them away. You can build a huge library, and it's all great stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. And what's funny is that's what I was kind of getting at too. Is once you get into it and you start getting into the rush of the find, right? Like, because that's kind of the thing I think most of us miss. Most of all is that ability to just go out to one of these stores, and we have our certain set stores that we would go to. We know what days we would go to them and times and everything. And we generally knew what they would have, but then we'd discover something else at the same time. And like I said, as you're going, you're going to get into the rush of just like, oh, I'm going to go to this record store, I'm going to go to this used video store or this store or whatever, and I can't wait to go there because who knows what I'm going to find this week, right? Like it's part of the treasure hunt too, in a way.
Right. Well, you'll remember, Tom, that I talked about those laser discs I got at the church sale. And they thought they were LPs, and they were like 10 cents an LP. And I mean, I don't have a laser disc player, but there was about 40 of them. I said, I'll take those. I took the whole lot, and they said, well, as you're buying so many, we'll give you we'll give you them for like half. And I don't play them, but they're beautiful. They're like Jurassic Park and Top Gun and all these great laser discs. Do look like LPs, and so this is what you can find in these places.
Yeah, well, you might find a laser disc on one of your searches one of these days. Like I found an old 4K player before they had it doesn't have any HDR on it, but it was just a standard 4K player for $7 at a Goodwill.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah, it's a thrill. It is a real thrill to find that stuff. I mean, another one, I know I'm dominating a bit the conversation. This local, in thrift stores, you look through the LPs, and usually it's Mantovani and polka albums and all the crap.
Christmas albums and shit.
Yeah. And this was in there.
Alive.
This was just just a few days ago. I looked at it. I thought, I know what that is. Like, it was in amongst a bunch of classical albums. I thought, I know what that is. That's the London Philharmonic Orchestra's performance of Tommy.
Yeah.
So for $1, I got this.
Sweet.
And it's just, I mean, of course, it's just awesome. And it's got the booklet and everything, and the record is in pristine condition.
Yeah.
This is what you'll get for $1 if you just spend the time to look through. There's the booklet. And I get such a thrill. And this is in my local thrift store. We've only got one in this small town. And somebody dumped this in there. It's just great. And of course, Pete Townsend and all the who are on it. But I mean, I knew what it was when I saw the cover. But still, the thrill of it is just, that's why I love that kind of thing. I love it.
And you'll find some good old finds like this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. Oh, good Scotsman, David Byrne. He was born in Dumbarton.
Well, this
Scotland,
is notorious because like this release again is going with the mastering process. A lot of fans didn't care for the remastering, so they preferred this version of the mastering. But then you also just get collectible stuff like the picture discs and stuff like that.
Right.
They
That's
sound
a
like
good
crap,
one.
but they look cool.
Right.
Oh, I love
Or you get,
picture
like,
discs.
And once in a while you'll find great stuff like the best whorehouse in Texas. Who doesn't need a good copy of this?
Hard Candy Christmas.
Everyone
That's a
should
Christmas
have that.
movie.
Hard Candy. I couldn't believe my parents let me watch this when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And then they wonder how I turned out the way I did. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, whorehouses are good family fun.
That's right.
And then you got newer stuff like this too. Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
no,
you're
go
going to
ahead,
say
Tom.
something.
Go ahead,
No,
Tom.
go ahead. This is big. And sorry, I'll get into that later.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just going to say that, beyond just the thrift stores and buying the collections, doing it that way to build your collections, the other thing about physical media is it's the only way, if you're into foreign cinema, to get stuff, to access it. So, just the other day, they finally, after 30 plus years, came out with an actual original Hong Kong cut of Rumble in the Bronx. And you can only get it in the Jackie Chan 4K breakout set. That's the only way to get it. I've never been able to access an
I've never seen that
Hong
version,
Kong
yeah.
cut. Yeah, so that's one. Look at this one right here. You can only get this in Japan. This is the Macross 4K for Do You Remember Love, the feature film. It has English subtitles, but because of rights issues, you can only get this 4K out of Japan. So that's the only way to get that one. Or how about this one? Operation Condor with Jackie Chan. You can only get this prestige edition from a foreign market. You can't get it. You can get a copy of it here with the original cut, but you can't get one that's this nice. Or how about this? The actual Macross TV show. You cannot get this in the United States on Blu-ray. The only Blu-ray's ever been in Japan. You have to buy a bootleg, fans doing the best work kind of thing, subtitling it, everything like that. How about the
Michael, just hold that up a bit again.
What?
That last one.
This
Just
one?
put it back. Yeah. Oh yes. Okay,
Yeah.
great. No,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah.
So then, here's the Lost Voltron show, Lightspeed Electric in Vegas.
Nice.
They finally brought that out on Blu-ray, standard def, but Blu-ray with subtitles for the first time. You can only get it on physical media. You can't watch it anywhere else. How about this one? It's out of print.
That's a good one. Yeah.
This one's out of print. This one's hilarious. It's about high school students that get in these big epic Street Fighter battles over discount lunches at grocery stores. It's hilarious. You cannot get this show anywhere but physical media.
It's an episode of Cobra Kai. Okay.
You can't get it on streaming.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is the only way to watch it. How about this one? Kandagawa. No, wait. Sorry. That shouldn't have been in the set. What about? Okay. Well, this one. I don't know much about this one, but I know that this is the only way to get it with its original title. Because on streaming they keep making the title wrong. I don't know much about this movie, but it's called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, isn't that Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark?
That is where the streaming services and everything have duped us. The actual title is Raiders of the Lost Ark, but we only know
I'm surprised that the video actually says that, to be honest with you.
That's a fairly obscure movie, though.
It is.
Nobody's ever heard about that one.
But yeah.
You bear a striking resemblance to somebody in that movie.
Oh, I get that a lot because I'm a generic brown-haired white guy number 7. So
there you go.
Here, Michael, do you know this show? Nobody seems to know this show but me. This is the Arrow. Umbrella. This is the Umbrella release of Monkey.
I have been dragging my feet to buy that because the prices keep going up and down on Amazon.
I just couldn't resist it. I watched the show as a kid. I fucking loved it.
I watched that show in the early 90s when I lived in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
West adaptation.
Do you guys like drive-in trailers and stuff? This is from Umbrella. Have you seen these? You got deleted.
What's that?
Oh yeah, these are good. Yeah.
Oh wow.
From the 60s, 100.
I didn't buy it. I'd love to buy them.
Theatrical trailers remastered in high definition. 50 new titles. This is the 60s and 70s.
Oh, that's cool.
Drive-in theatrical trailers, and you got the
that's great. Invasion USA.
The Cannon and all that. Yeah.
Invasion USA.
Nice.
And then you got this one.
Oh, Death Wish 2.
Yeah.
Oh, 3.
I love that poster.
That's some good stuff.
That is
good stuff, man.
Are they Umbrella? They're Umbrella?
These are all Umbrella. I don't know if these are in print still, to be honest with you. But they're like, I mean, yeah, you could turn these on YouTube and stuff and watch them, but they're not the same as like.
It's not the same as sitting watching them.
Plus, they have been they're done in high definition. You know, they've been fixed up and everything, and you get newer. You know, this is like you get the drive-in bumpers and everything. So
that is beautiful. I'd love.
Go to the lobby.
I love trailers. I could just sit and watch trailers all day. Old trailers, not modern ones. Modern ones are terrible. They've all got the same music. You know, the terrible music. And old trailers are great. In a time where man was, you know,
in a world where worlds don't exist and nothing ever happens. Something finally happened, and we don't know what to do.
Hey, this is for you, Tom. The same day I got that London Philharmonic Tommy, I got this for $1.
That's a good one.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Please tell me it's got both discs in it, because the one I had it did
both.
not.
It has both discs, and it's brand new almost.
Oh, it looks
They're
pretty.
Perfect condition. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That's a good.
Nice.
That's a good
for
double
$1,
Good album.
for $1.
Good album.
And I've got my Joe Walsh T-shirt on because he's in the.
Oh yeah,
he's in the soundtrack. So every eagle is in the soundtrack.
That's true.
Wow.
But that's
Boomer, do you
the joys
have
of thrifting.
What do I have? What?
Do you have this article about Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
I think we need to talk anime a little bit.
Crunchyroll. Let me get rid of this one. I'll bring up the motion.
Yeah.
Stuff. Okay.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll show this. Like, this is a newer set, so like I have all the old Cheech and Chong stuff, but this came out with the 40th anniversary for
Still Smoking? No.
Up in Smoke.
Oh,
yeah,
Up in
so
Smoke.
This has got all sorts
The
of cool
40th
shit.
anniversary. Does it have papers in it though?
Of course it does.
It still has the papers in it.
And a booklet. I just dropped the poster, but it's got a big old rolling paper in there and here. It's got the movie, the soundtrack, and it's got the vinyl in there too. So it's all that stuff in there. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's some sweet stuff.
I only
This is a
knew those
rolling paper
guys.
right here.
I only knew those guys through their records when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'd never seen their movies, but I knew the albums.
And it also comes with a 7-inch single picture disc of
oh my gosh.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
They were the guys with Sister Mary Elephant, right?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice.
There
Where
you
is
go.
it? It's Dave, man. Let me in. I got the stuff. Oh,
Dave's
Dave,
not
man, let me
here.
in. Oh,
Dave,
man. Dave's not here.
And I'm also very concerned about the Paramount Warner merger, because Warner, for all of its troubles, they're the only ones that still are doing archive collecting physical media. And
Nice.
Well, that's just it fell out before, but that's the single and then the rest of it.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's like trifold.
You can't get that on. I mean, that's no comparison between digital and holding it in your hand like that. But yeah, it's retro, Michael.
yeah,
Well, there's a beauty.
2LP.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I got the CD of that when it came out. 2LP.
I'll tell you what, soundtracks like that, you got to get the soundtrack, because then the movie comes out and they don't have the rights to one or two of the songs, you know?
They cleared that up a while ago, Troy.
so like
Well,
So like I was on streaming Prime the other day, and I was watching some stuff because I realized Prime actually has old movies. Like they don't just have, and I was watch listing them. And I ran across the 1972 Orson Welles version of Treasure Island, and I thought, I'm going to watch this, right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out when you try and watch it on streaming, it's the completely wrong frame rate, so it looks staccato. Like there's something.
Oh my
wrong with the
gosh.
camera they got.
Well,
And I was
again,
like,
who's in charge of that? Why wouldn't
Good
they see
question.
that?
I don't know. Well, I went looking for physical media, and I couldn't find any. And then I found that the best I could get was Archive Collection DVD that was still available. So I picked that up, which is better than the Prime streaming copy, for shocking my sound. If they've released it on Blu-ray, it must be on a foreign one that I'm not aware of. That's the likely.
Chances are, if Warner Archive has done it and you couldn't find a Blu-ray, then that's all there is
Right.
the DVD.
Yeah.
And the archive collection group at Warner Brothers, the Warner Archive group, they're the only reason that I was able to finally have an HD copy of King Solomon's Mines
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
from 1950. That's the only way I was able to
Wait,
get one.
if it's not the Sharon Stone version, it's not worth it.
I've got a whole video that will challenge you on that point. But
I've
done a whole stream on that movie, the Canon Films one.
I've got a whole history on all the versions. So if we'd like to, Hidoken on it, I'm ready to go.
Oh no, I've seen your stuff. It's great. I couldn't
Speaking
compete.
of
I can't
Hidoken,
compete with you.
So tell us
Crunchyroll.
about this, Uncle Boomer.
Okay, so
What's wrong with Crunchyroll? It makes me want Chinese for dinner.
Okay, I like Michael here. I also do collect anime. I've been doing so actually, technically since the '90s, if he believes me. But when they had VHS tapes, but there used to be this company. It was called a small Midwestern anime distribution company. They were called the Right Stuff, and they would put out. You would order through a catalog. Later on, you would be able to order online through them, and they were a major anime distribution. It was cool when they got online. They would have sales every now and then. You get some good deals. And
Sure.
over the years, I purchased a lot of anime DVDs, and then eventually moved on to Blu-ray. And then Sony bought them out. They basically took over the store, and I knew in the back of my head, I said, at some point, this is going to go to crap. This is not going to be around. They're going to mess it up, and apparently, it's happening. This is the article that got me a little steamed a few weeks ago, but there is a silver lining to this at the end. But let's see, though, the article. If you want to, the article is, sorry, apologize. Sony-owned Crunchyroll is now kneecapping physical anime sales. If you watch,
Shocker.
Yes, if you watch anime regularly, you are certainly aware of Crunchyroll, a subscription streaming service owned by Sony that delivers many new and classic anime series to audiences around the globe. It's the biggest name in that space, regularly beating out Netflix and Amazon for rights to stream the medium's hits. It's also got an online store when one can buy their favorite anime on physical media, which many devoted fans do, since streaming rights to shows can and do frequently expire. However, in a move that has become familiar, echoes to Sony's decision to end production of Sony game discs, Crunchyroll store is being severely scaled back, and fans of anime on disc are very unhappy. Background 2023. Crunchyroll purchased the Right Stuff International, an Iowa-based online retailer of anime, DVDs, Blu-rays, manga, and merchandise, to bolster their sales and merchandising presence. Right Stuff was folded into the Crunchyroll store, where it continued to be a source of physical anime media, offering discs of not just Crunchyroll licensed anime, but also shows and films from a wide variety of licensors. Yeah, because there's certain companies I've had a beef with Funimation for a while, so I tend not to buy their discs, but I buy from a lot of other boutique labels, like Discotech, and but anyway. But unfortunately, it seems at the time of the Crunchyroll store being a massive anime retail store with a broad selection open to all is coming to a close. According to a recent statement FAQ posted online, the store will be dropping much of the current stock and transitioning to a brand new shopping experience that will be available exclusive to Mega and Ultimate fans subscription tiers. So I guess people yet be subscribed to the Crunchyroll subscription service to even access parts of this store. But it's going to focus on collectibles, curated drops, and limited release products inspired by the anime series you love. And reactions online to the announcement have been swift and angry, with longtime customers going back to the Right Stuff days. That's me, particularly upset. But I knew this was going to happen. I knew at some point it was going to come crashing down. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Of course, 2023, that's not that long actually. So. Besides culling their product offerings and limiting the store to higher paid subscription tiers, many have pointed out that Crunchyroll has dropped the ball in supporting popular series that the Right Stuff initially licensed and distributed after the purchase, leaving physical releases of Gundam and Macross shows in the lurch, and mishandling an ongoing Kickstarter to release the classic Dirty Pair anime on Blu-ray. Yeah, actually that makes sense, because Michael had mentioned he had to go get the Macross Blu-ray from overseas, because Right Stuff was probably planning a release of it, and it got screwed up when Sony bought out the store.
Right.
Transition leaves many anime fans without their go-to disc shop, and calls into questions whether or not Crunchyroll licensed shows will even see a physical release in the future. And taken in with Sony's sudden decision to kill off PlayStation discs early in 2020, it's hard for many fans not to see this as another act of hostility toward the physical medium they love. And I was getting angry, so I did go on social media to look at Discotech to see have they said anything about this. And the Discotech would always have pre-order this new thing here. And I click on the link, and I think it's to an anime store they now own, an online front, and it's called Media OCD. and the headliner underneath it says, "You will own nothing and be happy, but nothing is crossed out and everything is underneath it." So
wow,
they're not selling the Crunchyroll disc or Funimation disc, but they are selling their own stuff and also Sentai. So I realize if Sony shuts down a marketplace for anime DVDs, someone else
someone else will have it. And thank you, very generous of you, Ray the Magician. For $20, says often certain fandoms dictate physical media to be collected. As a Beatles fan, physical media is the point of your collection. That's why I have the vinyl records, tapes, CDs, 8-tracks, DVDs, books, magazines, etc. It's all good.
Absolutely.
This guy gets it. Absolutely. Abso-stinkin-lutely.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then you get crazy guys like this. Gifting 5 memberships.
I should never give that guy a credit card. Never.
For crying out loud. And he literally gifted himself a membership.
I'm not stupid. I'm Scottish. I get my own. I get it back.
I swear I thought you were from Texas.
Well, I used to live in Texas. Yes, I used to live in Dallas.
You don't even have to give it to me. Just give me the numbers on it.
And with the expiration date and the card on the back, the number on
just
the back.
in case I need it, your last word.
There's 3 little numbers. That's all I need. Is 3 little
I do
numbers.
want to back up that I have a huge Beatles collection, and you can't get this on Blu-ray. This is the DVD Beatles Help Deluxe
this isn't
Edition.
the album that he got. He's actually saying, "Help! I'm buying too much."
You cannot get this on Blu-ray or anything like that. It's DVD only, and it's just awesome. It's with
the Deluxe Edition, yeah.
The Beatles do such great, and Paul McCartney do such great special editions. This is the archive editions that I can't pick it up. It's so big I can hardly hold it in one hand.
Heavy, yeah.
The Wings Over America archive edition. This is just this thing is just phenomenal. And he does this for every album, and some of them I didn't get when they came out, and I regret it now because you can't get them; they're sold out. These are the archive editions, and they're just phenomenal.
I think you'd have had enough of silly love songs.
Well,
I've got another silly love song here. Are you sure that are you just in that deluxe edition or just in general? Because I've got a Help Blu-ray right here.
Well, no, you can get Help Blu-ray, but not the deluxe edition.
I was going to say, okay, yeah, okay.
Of the movie. This is the deluxe edition. It's got all sorts of other stuff in it. It's lovely, and I've got a lot of Beatles stuff. A lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, physical collections of Beatles stuff is a wonderful place to start. Usually movies.
Cool.
I have a funny library story regarding the Beatles, the Help movie, because one day I was scanning the shelves with our materials wand, and it says, "I'm looking for the Beatles Help," and it's showing up on the wand, but I don't see it anywhere on the shelf, and I keep scanning it, and I don't see anything.
It's got a script.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, mate.
Oh, and then I realized when I look closer, I took out a copy of The Help, the movie about, I guess, the butlers, the maids or whatever, right? And I realized it was miscatalogued as the Beatles Help, and that's what threw me off. I was like a half an hour.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. That is funny. That's so
that's
funny.
like the future people who are trying to find Michael, and they keep getting that damn John Travolta movie.
That sounds like...
Right?
I spent a lot of time on Plex trying to fix the matching of things, which matches to the wrong thing, and you're trying to fix it, you know.
I actually brought over my most expensive single vinyl I've ever purchased in my life.
Oh, man.
I think Greg knows what it is, but I don't know if anybody else does.
Is it James Last and his orchestra and their version of the Bond soundtrack?
Yes, it is. No, actually, it's it's a soundtrack, though, believe it or not.
Critters
soundtrack.
Nice.
Which I do actually have on CD as well, but there's a reason why I had to pay so much for the vinyl. There's something missing on here that's on here that's not on here, and that is the Power of the Night song sang by the
Power of the Night.
Yeah, for some reason it's on the vinyl but not on the CD. So
I
yeah,
must have lost the rights by that time or something.
Yeah, because it ended up costing me. I think at the time I spent $100 for it. Now brand new, this thing goes for about 200 and something. But yeah.
Jeez. I love how this has turned into like showcasing physical media.
Oh, I could be here all damn day.
We could do it forever.
Who made who, right? The soundtrack.
Who made who?
AC/DC, Who made who? More AC. I just grabbed some of mine. I grabbed some of my AC.
Now we're talking
I got an old
old
one that's
school.
beat up to hell.
Old school.
I got Back in Black.
So you got an old school one. I got a new one of that one, but I got an old school one of Dirty Deeds.
What about Kiss Animalize?
Now that's one that nobody has but you.
I know. I found it for like $1.
Who the hell's going to have that? Yeah.
Like even Kiss fans are like, I don't like that one.
Van Halen.
I got a lenticular Metallica recently, which is sorry, Megadeth. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, I misspoke.
Even better.
Wild.
Yeah, it's their latest and last album, I believe. But the lenticular cover, so it's hard to see on the.
Oh, I see it. No,
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't buy many brand new LPs because they're so expensive, but that's.
Yeah, they are.
I had to get that
nice.
one. I had to get Megadeth.
And I hate to burst everybody's bubble about this, but like, yeah, that's the same thing that kind of takes me back to the CDs. All records produced since basically the 90s have all had some digital component within the process.
Right.
So you're not getting any true analog that you think you are. Like the crap they feed you. Yeah. There's even back as far as the 70s, they had a digital delay system. So that they wouldn't blow out like the tracks, right? So because if you have a loud noise or a lot more louder music or loud bass, you have to make so the guys that were actually doing the record labs, they would listen to it about 5 seconds before the album would actually do the thing, so they knew if they had to adjust anything. So that version that you were getting on the record was actually a digital recreation of the actual audio to begin with, since the 70s.
Wow.
You're just disappointing me now.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I know there's these people who are so diehard on this, and it's like, because I get in the same disagreements with people who are like, oh, but I like the old mono versions. It's like, you do realize that a lot of those old mono versions were just made so they were loud and obnoxious through people's speakers because they had little tinny speakers back in the day. So they're basically the equivalent of the brick walled CDs that we got. So yeah.
The mono versions were because mono was predominant until the late 60s. Was because they mixed it to come out of a radio.
Well, that
Someone's
too, yeah.
radio.
So,
Yeah.
like I was saying, like, because people like specifically like the Beatles are a little different, but like a lot of the other stuff, like 99% of the popular music from the 60s on, if you're just getting the mono single or the mono album, those were literally mixed so they could be at the brick walled loudest they could be, where everything was in there, to where it was like there's no real sonic difference between them, to where you go listen to the stereo version. Now those we actually spent some time on to make them sound good for luxurious stereos, right? So yeah,
well,
that was the whole point.
in later years, but I mean, the early Beatles stuff was all mixed for mono.
Well, I mean,
the stereo mixes they knocked off in like half a day. The mono mixes they spent ages on them.
Right, and as I was saying, that's where it changed over time. Like you had the mixing differences, was kind of weird because a lot of people go for like those certain ones, and it's like you do realize that's just the brick walled mix.
I think Davina is right. It's what appeals to you personally that counts, and what you're used to.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, but this is hypocrisies. I find it's just funny.
I've come to this realization from when we do our rewatches, just music in general. You try to say, "Oh, you got to see this movie; it was so good. You got to hear this song; it's so good," and you got to realize that. Yeah, maybe it is great. Maybe a lot of people like it, but sometimes maybe your love for that is tied up in the memories that go with it.
Oh, very much so.
There's a lot of movies that I've seen that I loved the heck out of, and I'll do a rewatch of it, and Netter and Boomer are like, "What are you smoking?" And I'm like, "Look, I can't." Well, I mean, you all give me grief about the Star Wars Holiday Special, but there is a lot of nostalgia that's tied up in that. I love it, and I will go to the
Canadian the great Canadian animation in that sequence.
That is absolutely true.
Nirvana, is it Nirvana?
Nirvana, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sequence is brilliant.
Same guys that did, wasn't it Rock and Rule or something like that?
I did a stream on that movie. It's a wonderful movie.
All I know is that Chewie's dad is a big old pervert.
I just wanted to point out that I like Michael's changing his avatar to Richard Chamberlain and Sharon Stone.
Yes,
there you go.
I did that for you.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that very much.
Speaking of, can we get a shout out for CED?
Oh
yes, I was going to bring one up.
Wow,
that's a medium that people don't talk about enough. That's absolutely true.
Here's a different version of CED out of Japan.
Oh,
wow! Oh, great.
Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting.
Radio disc
Nice.
with movie.
Wait a minute.
With movie,
Sorry.
movie included.
What are we talking
No,
about?
that is CED. It's a different
It's a different brand.
video
Tom,
disc. Yeah.
This is one of those moments where Aged Boomer once again trips over his own mystery because he doesn't know what CED is because he's like a late millennial. He's lying. He says he's like an old guy like us, but he's not. He doesn't show his face. He doesn't know what CED is.
He's not a real boomer. He's faking it.
Anyway,
You remember
He just plays one on YouTube. Yeah.
things we had a few years ago before CDs. This is just basically a big version of those.
Yeah, it's a,
Yeah.
it's a big record.
oh,
That's the largest floppy disk I've ever seen.
It's
I've
basically
never
what it
heard
is.
of these.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
You never told me
Look at
about
the size of
before.
that floppy.
Never told you what. Well, look,
about
you
the-
can sit there and say you were raised by wolves all you want. The fact is that you weren't born until like 1989, and you're all right.
I wish.
Well, this is the thing that it gets me kind of like I was going to bring this up earlier when we were talking about how the stream they decided to ditch everything for streaming as opposed to even having just a couple of the formats we still do. It's like back in the day, they would put a movie or an album on any goddamn format they could. Like you
Right.
got a quad mix to a 8-track version to
Oh,
a
I've got some quad LPs.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I've got quad
Laserdisc
LPs.
and you had how many different videotape systems before we finally settled on
Well, I used to have a Philips V2000 player. I had the
there was
Philips
that, there was
V2000.
Ematic, and there was
Oh, lost Tom.
Oh,
I was letting you
Thank
finish.
God.
I'm sorry. Greg.
Thank God for that. No,
I know
sorry.
you want to.
No, I had a V2000 player, and I wish I still had it. I got rid of it. Like, what an idiot! And that thing would be a collector's item today. And there was tapes. I had tapes with stuff that I'd recorded on it. I think, oh God, why did I ever get rid of that?
You know what's even
That-
funnier is like the stuff that's worth more to people when it comes to the vintage stuff now. It's not so much like if you've recorded anything necessarily off a TV as far as the show or the movie. They want the commercials now.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Archive
I've
panels
got some of that.
commercials and stuff. Yeah.
I have posted a few bits and pieces on my channel of VHS commercials I'd recorded in the middle of shows, and certain videos and shows that I've got that are
Well,
not
what's sad
were
is how
not
much of
on
that
there.
stuff is lost, man. I mean,
I
how
know.
they didn't even save that stuff because it was so disposable. And that's the other problem we run into is how often so much stuff in the last 100 years has seemed to turn out to be disposable, and they're like, "Oh crap, we should have saved that."
Well, hence the
Doctor Who being a prime
BBC,
example.
the BBC is scrapping all, not just Doctor Who, they scrapped all the shows. So stuff like
Yeah.
Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, Till
they
Death Us
went
Do
along.
Part, Steptoe and Son, all those great Dad's Army, all those classic BBC comedies, scrapped.
Yeah.
They're not alone. Like a lot of local stations, they used videotape for stuff. So then it was expensive at that time, so they would just tape over stuff
Yeah.
all the time once they were
And
done
they
with
thought,
it.
no
So-
one's ever going to want to watch
Yeah.
this again.
Yeah.
Why would they?
And now they're doing those expensive recreations of the Missing Dad's Army episodes, and they're doing animations for Doctor Who, trying to save
Yeah.
him. From
Yeah,
and
I've
it's
got
like,
some of those.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm sorry,
I-
I just stepped away for a second, but I wanted to weigh in a little bit on this. That whole thing with the lost media from the BBC. See, my understanding was that they had kind of different kind of deal, you know, than we did here in the States when it came to not copyright, but like broadcast rights, where they could only broadcast it once, maybe twice, and it was done. So if they were sitting on a piece of media that they couldn't play again anyway, they're like, well, we may as well just scrap it.
Well,
And there was no call for it again.
Well, and
That's partly true. Partly was because they didn't have the space to store all the tape, but
I was
they
gonna
also
say
wanted to
there's-
reuse
True.
it. But the reason we even have some of that stuff is because they used to copy it over to on 16 millimeter film it
Yeah.
on a tele-cine screen.
Yep.
And then sell that to Australia or New Zealand
Mm-hmm.
or Canada or whatever. And that material existed because it's still on film.
Right.
Whereas the original tapes were junked. So the reason we've got any of those old shows from the 60s in Britain is
Well, that's
usually because
it.
of that telecine stuff. Yeah.
Even if there was some of those tapes, even if they had all those tapes, the chances of them all being in good shape to be able to be used again to transfer in any sort of way would have probably been.
Yeah. And
Probably
they said if
impossible.
there's no commercial value to it, we're just going to junk it.
Well, and
That's
back
what
then,
they
like I
did.
said, they didn't have the money for videotape back then. Wasn't cheap. Like usually, depending on what system they had, it was usually a specific tape system, and you only had so much on hand at a time, and it wasn't cheap. And like you said, archiving was another issue. But there was also just they at that time television was very disposable. Like it didn't have like this thing where they felt like it was ever going to have a life. Even films. Unless they were a movie that actually got some prestige and notice, most of them would just get tossed to the sides too, and the negatives are lost because
so many movies are lost, or don't have the original 35 millimeters.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, mate.
I was just going to say that Metropolis,
right?
They found the lost 40 minutes in South America, and at some point in its lifespan, that print had been duped down to 16 millimeter from 35 because the silver nitrate print was going to combust, and so they didn't have the climate control in South America's film archive, or Brazil, I think it was Brazil's film archive, somewhere like that we did in the Western world. So they had to do what they could to make it safe to keep. Well, we can't really, slap them around for that, because they're the only ones that still had the 40 minutes. So we take what we can get. It's the same thing with big films like Lawrence of Arabia and stuff, where they cut so much out after the premiere, and then they thought it was lost, and then they found it all again.
Look at Event Horizon that both Troy and I did streams on recently. All the cut material's gone for that, and that's a 1997 movie. That's not
right, and that goes all the way back to like where I've said piracy keeps things around a lot longer than not, because Nosferatu would have been lost to history if it wasn't for piracy.
Yep.
Right.
That's exactly right, because they kind of got the equivalent of a cease and desist.
Well, and the reason is because of how famous it was. Because if it wasn't for that, it probably would have gotten lost. Because there was a number of other films that those guys made that have never seen the light of day because they are lost.
Yep.
But they weren't banned.
No.
It's just that they didn't have a lifespan beyond their original release because they didn't have any notoriety attached to them, like movies like Nosferatu did, for instance.
But what you said about piracy keeping things alive, going back to specifically Doctor Who situation. That was a time when this was before the average house had anything like VTRs or VCRs or anything like that, where they could, or even, in some cases, just record, your TV screen. But what they did have was the ability to do reel-to-reel audio recordings.
All the BBC ones were recorded in audio. Yeah,
that is exactly right.
Well, Doctor Who's, all the Doctor Who's.
Well, not just that. They would also, a lot of times back in the day, for stereo broadcasts and just in general, they would do it too. You could tune in on your radio to the audio.
Oh, I used to do that.
Yeah. See, Brian knows what I'm
for
talking
concerts.
about.
Oh, gosh, I remember that too. Yeah, but
live concert
that's exactly,
broadcasts.
But that's exactly why. But the fans were at home doing audio recordings, and then when these shows ended up going missing, the BBC said, "So we understand that there's fans out there who have these audios, and although it's not really technically legal, we're asking you to send those in because we would like to, to have an archive of them." And what the BBC did was they took back all the different versions, found the best ones, and then cleaned them up and released them on CD. And all the audio is out there for every episode of Doctor Who.
But the problem is not a lot of fandoms are that lucky, right?
Right.
To have that kind of archivist.
That's why Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, all their great TV shows from the 60s, gone.
Well, that's a lot of television, right? Like, unless it was something that was specifically videotaped because it was shown on East and West Coast at different times, or a show that was pre-taped or whatever. Even then, a lot of the times, and when I say taped, it was filmed prior to the late 70s, early 80s when they finally did actually use videotape, let's be real. But the thing is that even when they did archive a lot of these things, or they would send them, the problem is that before archiving was a thing, syndication was a thing. So now you have the other added issue of some of these shows still exist, but they only exist in that edited syndicated form. Now, Elf is a great example of this. For a couple of years back, people were finally got the full versions of Elf, because for years all you could get was the syndicated cuts on those Lionsgate releases. And I hate to give them credit, but Shit Factory actually went to the trouble of making sure we got 98% of those episodes back to their original forms. The only one that wasn't, to my knowledge of, was the one that was changed during the original broadcast after its first run, and they weren't able to locate a version of it where it actually there was an episode of Elf where it's basically a flashback episode, but to get you into the flashback, Elf ends up getting electrocuted in the bathtub. They changed it to him, I think, getting his head hit or something like that in the new version. But I remember the original version more than I do the rehashed version. But the rehashed version is the only version you can get now, because they were afraid kids would drop shit in their fucking bathtub back then. So like the second time they broadcasted it, has always been that version ever since. But that's the only exception that I know of in that set, and you'll get that rare occasionally. But like even shows like, you know, like I Love Lucy, they've ran into issues with, because when they archived them for either syndication, they either got rid of the originals and they archived them on 16 millimeter and cut versions and all this other stuff, so they don't have all the original archival material that they need to do this. So we'll get these AI up-resed crazy versions of this shit too, right? So so you got to be careful of what you're getting at the end of the day.
Like one of the infamous examples in my circle is the TV show Combat with Vic Morrow. The transfers of Combat on DVD, and the whole series has been put on DVD. But the problem is that people discovered, wait a second, these are not the original negatives, because it was shot on film, nor are they the original broadcast tapes. These are the tapes that were sent to syndication, where they sped ramp pieces of it. So in other words, it all run a little faster so that you can fit in more commercial breaks and stuff. And then they also pitched everything down to try and hide the fact that they sped everything up slightly. And everybody's saying, can we please get like the original negatives, you know, scanned? And unfortunately, it's Image Entertainment, which is owned by Disney. So,
Motu again. Nightmare. And I'm sure you know this, Michael, as well. It's notoriously a problem with not just Motu, but like Ghostbusters and a few other shows, where the video versions have been compromised, and they have been for years, and they've never went back and fixed them up until recently with Motu, when it finally got the German company that did the work to put it together. But like those DVDs were notoriously bad, between aspect ratio issues, sound issues. They were all sped up. There's all kinds of other issues with them because of and that's one that we still haven't been able to get direct. Like I've been in contact with somebody who has access to a lot of this stuff, and he can't even give me direct like knowledge of whether or not the actual film exists of those shows.
Is it around? Where is it? Who's got it?
Because the archiving that was done for that stuff was done so horribly.
Right. So what are those being mastered off of, or what were they mastered off of for the German release that's now soon to become a domestic release?
Okay, so what those are the British release.
The superior release, obviously.
Yeah, because those were they were actually, see, because here's the thing, is we don't know if the original negatives were destroyed or not.
Right.
But the story goes as such. When Hallmark Entertainment bought Filmation rights, they took all the shows and they transferred them to digital, and this is what I was getting at before with like I Love Lucy and stuff. They transferred them to digital, but they were all in 480p. And then they supposedly got rid of all the original soundtracks and negatives, and they're no longer exist, because the story goes somebody just destroyed them. Because they didn't have the space for them. Now, we don't know if that's true or not, but that's the wise tale that goes along with it, however you want to put that. So these versions that we have, and this is confirmed from one of the guys that I'm talking about, these are all up converts of the British release of He-Man, but those were actually scans as well, but they were better scans than the US versions.
Right.
Wow.
So what they look like is they are AI up converted, and they do look really good, though. You can notice in some cases there's a few problems here and there, but they have done the work to where it does not look like a smeary, weird mess like a lot of other AI up converts do. And I think this team is also working on a few other projects. I just don't know exactly what yet, but what I can say or not. But like,
it's incredible. It's incredible when you hear about things like that, things that are so mega popular and were so successful. Like, let's take Citizen Kane. There's still a debate as to whether or not the original negative for that movie was accidentally destroyed by an accountant or something, who put it on the wrong line item on an inventory sheet, and it got junked, and then he panicked, and there's all these like ghost stories about this kind of stuff. And to this day, we don't have a 4K scan off of an original negative of Citizen Kane. Like we've, so some of this kind of stuff lends credence to some of these wives' tales. Just like Tom was talking about with Masters of the Universe and possibly the entire Filmation library. And that's why physical media is so important to kind of keep this stuff,
with a few caveats for the Filmation, because like Paramount had the Star Trek show, for instance.
Right.
Like I think there's a few that were licensed stuff that they still had elsewhere.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers also, I think, has all the old DC shows and stuff like that. But that being said, all the main stuff that they own, there's a big question mark over whether or not it still exists or not because of that whole Hallmark deal. And they've changed hands 3 or 4 times since then. And that's a problem, is because that was what this one person was telling me, was like, everything's archived in different places and it's archived wrong.
Right.
Like there was things that were like supposedly like production stills and some other things that were supposedly in this archive, and he started going through it and you realize these are actually production cells.
Yeah.
And the backgrounds, and what somebody had done at some point is somebody that just either worked there in the office or stumbled upon these things. They had taken a bunch of these cells out and sold them online, and they chopped up all the backgrounds and stuff. These wide, huge, lovely, beautifully painted backgrounds that you would put up, in panels.
Right.
They chopped them all up just so they could slap and sell them online.
Insane.
Awful.
Killer.
So a lot of this stuff has been lost over time. All the original audio mixes, nobody knows where they are. And I know that the original He-Man was done in stereo.
Right.
Too.
Right.
That's another thing that bothers me, because nobody can locate those sound mixes for some reason.
Right. Right.
So that's the thing, is a lot of this stuff is, and this is just one, right? Like you're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pieces of media over our lifetime, let alone, the last 100 years.
And that's part of the problem, though, Tom. There's so much volume of stuff that nobody's ever going to have all that properly catalogued and archived.
Things are very important to other people, and it's because of people like us and the piracy and the other people who are doing the Internet Archives and the Pirate Bay stuff, and
and that's what
archiving all this stuff. Yeah.
Davinia brings up a lot of legacy material was lost in the Universal fire. There's so many ways that media can be lost. That is why it needs to be decentralized. And for all of this talk about streaming, the internet does make it possible to decentralize this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, to all the, you guys talk about lost media and all this, another good one is Hammer.
Right.
A lot of that was censored and butchered on their releases from
Sure.
Now, the new owner of Hammer is doing a really great job of restoring these. Like this October, we're getting the closest version of Christopher Lee's first Dracula movie as it was originally meant to be seen. Now, they found some of the Japanese footage that was, because that's where it comes from, years earlier, but they found better versions and a little more in a treasure trove in the Warner Brothers. And they have, like the guy that owns the Hammer now was talking about, they have just, this lot out by the airport, and they found a boatload of stuff out there of who knows what else. And so,
well, that was the problem with the Universal fire, Greg, is they didn't even really know what was all there.
I just want to give a shout out to this documentary by a group of fans. It's FanX Films, Hammer Films documentary. It's got a lot of.
That's awesome.
It's a fan-made
I see there's a new one that just came out too,
and
isn't
it's
there?
it's really good, this one. So
cool.
You can get it on Amazon. It's got lots of interviews with very sexy people like Caroline Munro and Ingrid Pitts. But yeah, it's well worth getting. It's a great documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to the new owner of Hammer, because he seems like somebody who, because it's gone through like Tom was mentioning with Motu, so many people had owned Hammer and it's gone away and it's come back, and now somebody else owns it. I think his name's John Blood, if I remember correctly.
Oh, come on.
Right? So he owns it now, and he's restoring all these old Hammer films he did with The Curse of Frankenstein, which looks beautiful, by the way, on 4K, and they have the U.S. and British version, and the closest you'll probably get to that version of the film, The First Frankenstein, with Christopher Lee and
Christopher Lee is the monster.
Yeah.
There's the
Well, that's where
creature.
we've gotten lucky, is some of these, especially the boutique companies more so than the regular companies, but where they've been able to kind of team up with fans and get their hands on a lot of this stuff they normally couldn't get. Or for instance, the Waterworld, the Odysseus cut or whatever it's called, exists because it was a fan cut. and they made it a legit actual cut of the film. Dune is the same thing. Like on the foreign releases of Dune, you can get the fan edit of Dune, the 1984 film, for instance, which is a far superior cut of the film. So you get that once in a while. So that's kind of cool, where both worlds will kind of collide, and maybe that's the future, right? Is we'll get lucky and that we'll get some of these people that are smart enough and rich enough at some point to buy some of these companies. Like, I would love to just buy like Canon films. I don't care about so much getting the access to the old stuff, although that'd be great. But I just would love to be able to have that shield to put it in front of a new movie that basically goes by the same standards and things that Canon used to go by, or even New Line for that matter is another label that's completely lost all meaning, right? So I mean, it's kind of sad that we're in this world now, but it's all become this conglomerated mess, and we're reminded of it every day when I open up news about the Paramount Warner Brothers merger, and it's like I never thought I'd live in a world where not just Warner Brothers and Paramount were the same company, but where Fox and Disney, of all things, were the same company.
That was a terrible purchase.
And this is exactly what happened to the music industry, and Brian knows specifically what I'm talking about, because you used to have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of labels. Tons. And then all of a sudden, they all started getting bought up by the big labels, and now you got three major conglomerates that own all the music in the world.
Yeah.
And yet somehow that doesn't fall under monopoly laws.
It doesn't. And it was sad. You know what's the sad thing to think about is Michael Jackson kept them from doing that for the longest time. And I wasn't kidding earlier about the whole thing. I was like only half kidding, allegedly. Like, that's the thing, is like, it's kind of weird how all that stuff happened right afterwards, and he was the only one standing in the way of any of that happening, because that was the one thing that needed to fall into place for everybody to be able to do this. And like you said, the fact that nobody stopped this monopolizing from happening is insane.
Because now they're just churning out content, the same content. Sounds the same. Every modern record sounds just the same. Well, the corporates, there's still indies, a few indies, but the corporate stuff.
All this is pretty funny too, because when you think about it, you go back to the 40s with the studio, like Paramount was part of that, where the government had to step in and they did the what is that,
because they own the theaters, because the studios own the theaters.
Kind of like the streaming thing now is like all these companies own the streaming, then they tell you where you can watch things and how you can listen to things and stuff. Like, that's what they were doing in the 40s, and a lot of this was predicated on piracy. And it's what they got, what's his name for too, from Fright Night, Roddy McDowall.
Roddy McDowall.
Roddy.
Roddy
McDowall. Like,
legend
for a while.
He would buy prints of his stuff because he wanted to watch it. He was a collector like us, and he got caught because they weren't really trying to catch him; they were trying to catch somebody else. But he was a celebrity. He got caught, and he got the punishment, and because they wanted somebody else for it, and it was all predicated on piracy. And even like when
there was a famous British television host called Bob Monkhouse, and one of his major hobbies was collecting silent movies. And he used to have a whole television show where he would he was mainly a quiz show guy, like a presenter of quiz shows. But he had a show where he talked about silent movies, and he collected and tried to preserve old silent movies, which were all getting. A lot of them were old film stock that was flammable and all that, degradable.
And all that stuff.
And he got sued by studios for having prints of these movies. He said, if I don't have this, it would be gone.
Right.
And this is, and we're talking back in the 80s here, 1970s, 1980s, as far back as so. He was trying to preserve all these silent movies, and because of him, many of them were preserved forever. But the studios sued him for it.
Well, that's the thing is, like, back then they were really harsh about that kind of crap, and that's what Roddy. I mean, he was one of them, for Pete's sake.
Well, he would have known Roddy. He would have known Roddy McDowall. They probably moved in the same circles.
But that kind of takes us back around to the original point of this, though, too, right? But go ahead, Michael. You were about to say something.
No, I was just going to simply say these entities, they do this throughout history all the time, and I'm not trying to hand wave. What I mean is, like, the famous example of after World War II, the U.S. Air Force did not want the Memphis Belle, the airplane. It was the first airplane to survive the U.S. air war over Europe. They didn't want it. And so it was bought out of the scrapyard by the city of Memphis, Tennessee. And they bought it for like $50 or something like that. And then it stayed there for the longest time until the Air Force came knocking back around and said, "You're not taking care of our airplane." And they're
The one
like,
you didn't want.
Neither were you.
Like, you were gonna scrap it. Like, you were literally going to put it in a smelter and turn it into mobile, like Airstream trailers. You were gonna sell the metal off it. And they're like, well, we're taking it back now, and we're taking it to Dayton Air Force Museum, which they did a bang-up job on it. But it's that mentality of, well, this is our stuff, and we want it back. And it's like, you didn't want it when we saved it.
A lot of old aircraft.
That's a great example.
A lot of old aircraft are preserved by volunteer enthusiasts.
And the movies are the same way.
And that's where I'm glad to see things like Doctor Who come full circle with that, because that kind of gets us back to the whole, and your analogy is perfect, Michael, that kind of brings us to the whole point here is like, it's fans that have been able to keep this stuff preserved, and they've never wanted you to own this shit to begin with. Right? Like, that takes us back to our initial point. Yeah, record albums were one thing that they were actually made to wear out. Right? They weren't. That's why the CD was like, they liked it, but then they realized, oh shit, this can last forever.
Yeah.
So then we got to come up with another way of selling this again. That's when you get the special editions, the boutique editions. So believe you me, they were very happy to see you want to buy vinyl again, because that's a very disposable version of what they're selling, because it will go bad at some point. And that's what they want. They never wanted you to own the videotape. They never wanted you to own that actual film. That's why they were dead set against VCRs to begin with, and very high-handedly on like Laserdisc and CED that we were just talking about before, because you couldn't record on those. And they were only just one thing, and you had to buy them.
But here's the double-edged sword of digital. Digital can be recorded. Even the stuff that you can only get on streaming, guess what? You can still get a hold of that and make your own physical media of it. There's really nothing they can do about it. There's nothing that prevents you from making a copy of a disc. I don't care what kind of disc it is. It is possible to do. Now, again, the games might be a different kind of situation, but once you own it, they can't take it away from you. And once you got it on a disc in your house, Mullen La Bay, motherfucker, come and get it.
That's the whole thing, though. When Sony came out a few weeks ago and said we're deleting the entire Studio Canal library, and by the way, you're not getting refunds, that moment, everybody was like, well, if purchasing isn't owning, then piracy isn't theft.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
You know?
What's funny is like those antitrust laws that were placed in 1942, I believe, with Paramount involved, is all that was quietly removed in 2020.
I was gonna say, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, in 2020, during you know what was going on, the government quietly removed that, so now these companies can go right back to doing what they were doing in the 40s, and look where we're at right now.
Just keep in mind that laws don't apply when you have enough money.
Right.
If you have enough money, laws don't apply.
That's correct.
I have a question, though. It was mentioned earlier about how Beatles fans know the importance of owning the albums and owning your own copies of the albums.
Yeah.
And I think we've spoken on this panel about movie fans. They tend to own the movies they want to own. But I am starting to wonder if maybe in the gaming sector, at least recently, have the gaming fans. I mean, I know there's a whole retro scene with gaming where they collect the physical media, but I'm wondering if that's just more of a niche, and maybe the mainstream gamer just didn't care about the physical media.
I don't know if it is a niche. I mean, I've started buying a lot of physical media, physical games again, especially games I played in the past. My son, who is in his 30s, he does nothing but buy physical games. That's all he'll play and all he buys, and he goes looking for them everywhere. Okay. So he's heavily into buying physical games. He doesn't want to be online, doesn't want to be dependent on that. So
no, I gotcha.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's an outlier, because he's my son and he's obviously incredibly clever and based, but he's maybe he's an outlier, but
Well, that's what I was wondering, though, because maybe it's like even with anime fans. It's funny because I was at work, and I have a coworker, like, she watches anime, and I mentioned how I did an order from that company I mentioned, the video OCD, and I ordered some anime DVDs, and she looked at me puzzled, and she said, "Why don't you just watch on Crunchyroll?" And I'm wondering, I don't know, and I'm not really part of the anime fan community. Like, I don't talk to anime fans, like the kind that go to conventions and cosplay. Are they buying the physical media? Maybe they are.
I've had to jump into this for the last 4 years because as Troy will tell you that's how I ended up doing an Evangelion video, was because I was like, what am I watching?
Which is the best thing ever. How do you not like that? It's art.
Oh, I thought you meant the video that I did. But no, it's great. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. So I, as a physical media
It's the same as that other video you just watched. You know, it's basically...
Yeah, but I, as a physical media collector, naturally, I was going to buy the series that I liked if I saw them on streaming. Because I got a High Dive account, I got a Crunchyroll account, I watched stuff on Netflix, I watched stuff on Prime, and I started getting an education. And then I said, oh, I like that show a lot. I'd like to have a physical copy. Because streaming services drop things all the time. And that's when I found out that some of these things that are already out of print are already going for hundreds of dollars, because even though you might still be able to access some of these shows, you don't know for how long you're going to be able to access them. They can drop off while you're in the middle of watching the series, and there's no way to get at them.
Yeah.
And Sony did an end run last year and destroyed the streaming websites that ran the shows that their platforms had deleted. So, you know, what do you do? So my point in saying that is, for a lot of anime fans, to answer your question, Boomer, they will purchase physical media of the shows they really like. Like they will create a collection. You go to an anime convention just like any other sci-fi convention. You know, in sci-fi conventions, you'll always have the guys who are putting up the videotapes, the DVDs, and the Blu-rays of, you know, obscure sci-fi and genre shows that you can't get, you know, like, and they have them, you know, fan registered or whatever. Similarly with anime, there's always these booths that are just Blu-ray booths and stuff. And some of the material's legit and some of it might be bootleg, but all of it is there because they want access to that material. So
Okay, so now this is clearing up, and it might even also apply to the games, because I guess what I'm trying to say is that the anime fans are buying the physical discs, but it seems like Sony wants to cut off a major distribution center for these physical discs, just like they're wanting to go all digital with the games on the PS5, and they're using, I don't know about if they've come up with fake numbers for the anime fans, but I think some people are calling their numbers for, it's over 90% digital and all this, and a lot of those numbers are BS. But that if you actually look at it, they're talking about stuff like DLC, which you can't get physically, or an indie game that you can't get physically because there wasn't a physical copy released, and also the fact that maybe fewer copies of physical media are being made. Like I heard people complaining about when Pragmata came out, there were a lot of people that wanted to go out and buy the physical copy, but there weren't enough made, so they just settled and bought the digital copy instead because they couldn't get their hands on the physical. So yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I mean, like I showed a few minutes ago, you know, I find out there's a show about these kids who have to get in these, like, you know, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat style fights to get discount lunches at the grocery store. I'm like, I want to see that show, and I can't get it anywhere. I have to buy a Blu-ray that's like pushing $100 at that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
That's a show for
I found this interesting. Davinia said it's about control and profit, but mostly control. That's absolutely true. The control part takes precedent over the profit. There's no doubt about that.
It's like I said, it's like it goes back to that 40s mentalities with the studios. Is the studios own the theaters, they own the stars, and they owned where you could watch it and how you could watch it. That's it.
And that is why
to now, and everything is subscription based now. Everything is subscription.
Well, they want their hand in your pocket, constantly taking the money out. But the other thing that they want is for absolute control over that IP, that character, that story, that version of the movie, whatever, and you can't have it unless you're paying us for it constantly. And I'm sorry, I just keep coming back to Princess Leia. The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. The more you try to control this, the more the pirates will make sure that you don't.
Right.
Yeah. And piracy is at an all-time high right now. It is so funny when people say, why do we need to pirate anything? And I'm like, have you looked at piracy? It's like, it's the highest it's ever been ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm at a point when it comes specifically to the anime, because the anime stuff is really bad about dropping off streaming services and never coming back. I'm at a point where I go, if I really like a show, the first thing I do before I even look for a Blu-ray, and I still will look for the master copy, is I will go and immediately snipe it. I will snipe that series even before I finished it, just to have a copy somewhere, and then I'll go find the disc. And I have no regrets on that score.
Yeah,
There's this funny story. It's not about anime. It's about Beetlejuice. And I'm not sure what time this person watched this movie, but this person, it was said on Halloween night, they were watching Beetlejuice, and they paused it on HBO Max. They paused it, they went to their kitchen to get something, and they came back, and they had removed the movie. So it could have been like at midnight, you know,
Right.
they took it. So I don't know what time it is, but like it really pissed this person off.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
You know, Beetlejuice was gone. It was gone. They keep bringing it back. That's what, because it's Warner Brothers and stuff. But like that's what they do. You never know when they'll.
It's because she didn't say Beetlejuice. So that's why.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
But it was the first one. It wasn't the second one. It was the original movie. So.
Right. There you go. Right. There you go.
Oh.
Yep.
No, it's brutal. But you know, that's okay. Have we kind of taken this all the way that there is? Because I mean,
I had one last question or point.
Go ahead.
I guess it's just what should we be doing, us fans of physical media, doing to fight back against this? I think that
buy as much as you can.
Yeah.
Especially look for old stuff.
Make it if you have to.
Right.
If it doesn't exist, make it.
Regardless of what they tell you, you as a consumer do have power. And I think that's the biggest problem with the gamers is they make their big whole, oh, we want physical media. And like I said, they'll go and buy that $100 GTA. They're going to do that no matter what they say. But you as a consumer have the power. If you want physical media, if you want a physical product, buy that. Don't pay the subscription. Don't pay for the digitalness. Buy the physical copy and buy it where they can record it and see it. You know, yes, thrift stores, 100%. But you also got to make your statement in this way. And like we've touched here tonight, if you can't, pirate it. I have nothing against that. I mean, if it's the only way you can get a physical copy of it, pirate it.
Okay.
And honestly, this is going to sound like a hot take, and it might not be popular, but I think this is another one of the reasons that they are so against AI, because it enables the average person to go and create their own, you know, a lot of it's slop, let's be honest. But every now and again, you'll find someone that does a segment of something Star Wars, something Star Trek, and you go, man, that's actually pretty good. That's actually better than what they're actually doing. And the only reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of people, again, in the Doctor Who community, they're going, hey, I wonder if I can use this, because we have all the audio, to recreate Doctor Who, these missing episodes and whatnot. There is actually potential there. I don't think it's really there just yet, but they don't want that. They don't want stuff existing that you can create and make and share. They want to control that character. They want to control that IP. They want to control whatever the medium is.
Yeah.
You know?
I only use it for audio satire purposes very, very irregularly, and it's usually when I can't get an orchestra, you know, or something like that to do something. Like I write the lyrics and I do all my own writing, and I do all my own lyrics, and I do all my own voice work for narration, you know, commentary, all that kind of stuff, and I do all the impressions that I can do myself. But every now and then I run into issues where I need a little help, and I'll tell you, as somebody who has worked in film and multimedia and screenwriting and all that stuff my entire life, editing and everything like that with degrees and all that kind of stuff, the work that goes into getting something generated from AI to sound correct takes just as much work as, and I'm not trying to defend AI in this moment because I use it in a very limited window. I only use a very narrow scope of it. I don't have it as an entire toolbox. I have it as like one screwdriver in the, you know, a set of screwdrivers. the amount of work it takes to get something like that to sound correct in the way you want it and get the performance out of it and do all that stuff requires so much human intervention that's why there's so much AI slop out there, is because a lot of people don't come at this stuff with any background in editing or sound mixing, or an ear for it or an eye for it. They just think, oh, this looks like fun. I can type in, I want a teddy bear to like punch the skyscraper in the face, and it makes the thing, and then they're happy and they get a dopamine hit. They're like, yay, and it looks like shit. It's like, well, of course it does. All that to say is that when I did this video, like 2 videos ago, I had to clone these voices and then get a performance out of them. And it takes, no pun intended, it takes like an average of anywhere from 7 to 27 takes of generation and adjustments and all that kind of stuff. And then you have to take those takes for that one sentence and bring them in and then cut almost down to the syllable to try and get the performance the way you want it. You know what I mean? So it's
I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's for the professional, it's not a turnkey solution. It's just a screwdriver.
That's right.
Well, here's another place where it comes in clutch. You want a piece of music, or you want a voiceover piece, or whatever it is, and you pay for the license for it, or you hire someone to do it, and it works great, and okay, I've employed somebody and I've done the right thing, and then 6 months later that video gets hit because of some algorithm, copyright something or other. And you're like, now I've got to go and prove that I paid for it, and then they're not available and I can't get their help on it, and so I'm screwed on that video. You know what? I may as well just go and AI generate it myself. Nobody's going to come after me for copyright for that. I'm sorry, but that is the world that you created. Not Michael, but I mean...
No, it's true. I have an account with Motion Array for licensed music. In other words, when they started, they started by saying, our entire library is already pre-licensed, and if you're a member, you can use the music. Well, immediately there were YouTube flag issues that you'd have to go get resolved, and they'd get resolved. Well, now there's a new wrinkle where I'm thinking about completely ditching Motion Array at this point, because now they've said we're now allowing musicians and creators to come in who don't have to abide by the pre-licensing rule. And they're going to have a little tag on them that you better watch for, because they might charge you real money to use this. And I'm like, you're making it this complicated now? Like, nope. Like, nope. So I get
it's not worth it then. And that's what I'm talking about.
I've paid musicians that were very talented to do some of the videos that I've done over the years. It's a rare thing because they're expensive. You know, I paid a digital artist to do my animation for my logo and stuff. That's not AI.
And the sad part is all that's driving somebody to do is go to AI now.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Right.
Your best option is okay, if I want something to kind of sound like something, I'm just going to have to go and do this. Or if I want a certain specific sound, I'm just going to have to go tell an AI now, because what's the sense in using this library or whatever, because it's just going to get tagged later on anyway.
Right.
At least
exactly.
If you create your own thing, then there's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
That's exactly right. So, guys, I think that's what it comes down to. I think it's what Greg said. It's make sure you purchase the physical media, get it when you can, or when your husband puts it on a watch list, or whatever the case is. By the way, I've got a couple books on watch. So. Books are physical media too, by the way.
Yes.
So.
Well, I'm blessed women who understand this.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I turned our front room into a library because we don't use it as a front room or living room, whatever.
We just got books, just books.
So I've got all these bookshelves in there filled with books by genre.
Right now, a book is the only way that you can get this. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's probably an audio version of it, but you know, there's still good stories being told, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody somewhere along the way turns that into like an AI digitized movie, you know, kind of a thing with the visage of Michael Keaton and so forth. Could happen. Could absolutely happen. So I'm gonna real quick go around the horn. I should have said this way earlier in the stream, but everybody here that you see on the screen, links are below. Make sure you're following them. Make sure you're subscribed to them. If you really, really like them, become a member if they've got the memberships or whatever. Let's make sure especially that Tom Connors Jr., that Midnight's Edge After Dark 2, make sure you're subscribed to him. If you thought you were subscribed to him, you're not. He's got a new channel. Make sure you subscribe to him, and let's help him out the way we helped out Agent Boomer, and support those who support you, and that's the people here. So speaking of which, Tom, what's coming up for you?
Well, we're always working on videos and the live shows on the main channel. As far as After Dark, I'm trying to get what I can up there, get done. I just did a review on Kill Bill. I did a review on Michael a couple weeks ago for the Blu-rays, 4K Blu-rays. Otherwise, I'm working on some stuff in the background. Greg already kind of knows some of it because I've talked to him. I'm going to be doing some shows here. Brian as well. I've been talking to him about some things I've been working on.
I'm ready to do it.
Although the stuff we do might be more Rumble X oriented, but yeah, no, the YouTube side of things, definitely we're going to try and do some things like kind of like what we did here tonight too, maybe just some discussions with specific topics. So yeah, you never know what's going to happen here, but I'm working on it, and hopefully I'll have more sooner than later. So thank you for having me.
That's right. Go to these guys' channels and not only follow them there, but you do the little drop down, see about them. They'll have their links to Rumble or other platforms they're on. This is going out on Rumble and X right now, so make sure you do all the clicky things is what I'm basically saying, guys. I'm sorry, Tom, was that it?
Yeah, no, I wrapped her all up there.
Okay. So Greg, what you got coming up?
Probably some videos. I need to get into making some more videos. I haven't done it in a while. Summer's been killing me with my real world
workouts, constantly working out, getting all ripped.
No, it's just like other like work and kids and everything like that. But I cover a lot of physical media, a lot of what we talked here tonight. I do a lot of videos on this. I'm into horror and stuff like that, and me and Tom every Wednesday.
You're into whoring around? Is that what you just said?
You said whoring. I thought, yeah.
I'm single, but
well, there you go, guys.
Tom and I every Wednesday we do the physical media show where we show off. That's where the whores come in. You know how many times I've heard that clip? We do the physical media show where we show off what we watched for the week and everything, and show off our purchases.
My favorites.
So yeah, we do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Michael, you got a video you're right in the middle of.
Yeah.
Michael, there.
What?
Oh, I did. He said Michael, so I went.
Oh.
Yeah. Get it?
Everyone in my generation has this name. It sucks.
I know, right? Michael and Jenny is every name of everybody in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was named after a soap opera star.
Yeah. So I'm working on a really, really big video. It's not anywhere near as long as Indy 5 or Rogue One, but it's about 3/4 of the way there in duration, and it's called Midlife Crisis of the Universe. It's about the 2026 Masters of the Universe film. It was a mandate from Melinda after she and I watched Midnight's Edge's review, Analog Toys review, and Lio Convoy's review, and I was happy to watch those reviews and not see the movie. And she, because I never planned to, and she said, "Well, you better get started." And I just like, what? So I'm doing that, and then in the background I'm working on a few small things just to kind of fill the time. I'm in the middle of doing, let's see, so it's 5 chapters just like Rogue One. So I'm doing chapter 4 right now. I just finished chapter 2. I'm having to do them out of order. But hopefully it'll be done maybe by the end of the month. Maybe? I don't know.
Wow, you're ambitious.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking more like September. Maybe by Battle of Britain Day I'll have it done, September 15th. So, yeah. So.
And if he ever gets around to the video he's planning for Iron Eagle and Top Gun, eventually we'll do a watch party together.
I have that prioritized. It's just these other... Blame Melinda.
There's a lot of priorities. That's the problem.
Look,
I mean, a lot of blame being put on Melinda here, Michael.
Melinda, yes, I know I've dragged my feet on Top Gun versus Iron Eagle, but it was good that I did because I announced that video like 2 years before Maverick came out. So And I know it's been a while since Maverick. I get that. But
so we're waiting for Maverick 3 or the next Top Gun 3, right?
I have all the material. I'm going to get it done. But yeah, no, I know people are looking forward to that one. So I need to get that one. Yeah. Sorry.
Actually, I bust your balls on that one, but I really need to just buckle down and rewatch Iron Eagle because it's been literally so long. It's like, I need to watch that just so I know what we're talking about when we get around to it. So, just
watch Iron Eagle 1, 2, 3, and was there ever a 4? I can't remember.
Yes, it was straight to video.
He is barely even a part of the series. Like, it's like a whole movie unto itself, even though one of the actors is in it. He's barely playing the same character.
It's
so
like
I literally tried to watch every... Yeah, I literally tried to watch every film that Louis Gossett Jr. was in, so, I probably
G.I. Joe 2 before G.I. Joe 2, because the main actor gets killed in the first 2 minutes of the movie. You're like, what the hell just happened here?
Wow. Yep. Okay. Well, something to look forward to. And Brian, what you got coming up?
Well, Monday, my regular live show is always Monday at 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time, the only real time that exists. And this week we'll be talking about the worst music videos ever made. Wow. So that should be a lot of fun. That should be a lot of fun.
I'll look
to show up.
Sorry, Tom.
Give us a hint of at least 1 or 2 of them that are going to show up.
Well, Billy Squire may well feature. He's got some bad ones. Well, no, I can't give too much away.
Okay.
You could take part in the show, Tom. You're always welcome.
Be able to. It just depends on if I'm busy or not. But yeah,
Billy Squire is certainly one of them. Kiss Me a feature occasionally, and Journey. I've got 1 or 2. There's a few bands.
If it was specifically for the song is amazing, but the video is shit.
Yeah.
Whoever thought of the video for Separate Ways from Journey?
That's the one.
I love that music video because it's so dumb.
You're giving away all the secrets of the show.
Like, who saw that crap? It's like, we're checking a video. What are we going to do?
That is in the top 5. That is in the top 5 worst ones of all time.
I love that music.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
And Samuel, I am a Scottish boy. I live in Alberta, so I live in the
See
prairies.
what I'm telling you guys? Make sure you're following these guys because they're just nuts.
I'd also like to give a shout out for my latest video, which is the start of a brand new series on my channel. And like Michael, I mean, it's just the same thing. It's taken me forever to make these videos. It's the albums that matter is what it's called. And it's just an excuse for me to talk. Just excuse for me to talk about my favorite albums. And I thought, well, I'll be able to knock these off easily. 3 days later, I was still making it. So anyway, the first one was Todd Rundgren's Something Anything from 1972, one of the greatest albums ever made. And it's all about why it matters to me and why it should matter to you. So check that video out.
There you go.
Subscribe to my channel. It's a cornucopia of stuff. I've got classic rock. I got Korean movies and TV. I got science fiction movies, Hammer, Canon, all this great stuff. So,
MC Hammer or just regular?
MC Hammer. Didn't he do the soundtrack? Didn't he do that soundtrack for what was the movie in Last Action Hero? What's the name of the Carney's character? Anyway,
I don't remember. I know he was on
Arnie's
Family, and he was on.
He's in Last Action Hero.
Yeah,
He's
Family.
Is he in that?
He's doing the soundtrack for the 4th album in the Last Action Hero movie.
Oh my gosh!
4th movie.
Oh my gosh!
Can't remember the name of the character. But
I guess
anyway.
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah.
Anyway,
and guys, and I'm gonna just sum up the last call team tomorrow night over on Netter's channel. Watch party of the house with the clock in the walls. 9 o'clock Central, 10 Eastern. Aged Boomer, of course, hosting with some crazy Italian guy. On 8 o'clock on Sunday, Geeky Geezers probably get into some more of what we talked about tonight, but really all the geek news of the week that we found interesting, and
William Shatner.
just William Shatner.
He's going to be in a metal band.
And of course,
I think that's awesome.
And of course, the one and only Geezette.
The Geezette.
Oh, yeah,
he's metal. He's got a metal album coming out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over Netter there. Yeah, but yeah, no, it's funny because I just ordered William Shatner's country western album. I didn't know he ever did.
And
he's got a metal one.
This is great. He does a country western album. He does that live poetry album.
Keep it gay. Keep it gay.
It's like, how many can he do? He just keeps churning them out. It's like, I find out.
Well, the guy's 90 years old. He's probably done so many over the years. Why not? I mean, what the hell? Now he's doing heavy metal.
New or old? That's what I'm
saying. I think it's going to be a long, long time.
Yeah, that's what
exactly right.
By the way, MC Hammer did the soundtrack for Jack Slater 4 in The Last Action Hero.
Is that what it was?
There you go. There you go.
I never thought of it, but Jan Hammer did Miami Vice. So.
Oh, I love Jan Hammer.
Wrong hammer, damn it.
I've got that here somewhere. No, never mind.
Yeah, there's a good show we should do sometime as film scores, yeah.
I'll get your, I would get your channel banned.
And as for me, every weekday at noon Central, Liquid Lunch, spend 1 hour with me. Just hear me rant, hear me vent, hear me be thankful.
Hear me roar.
Let me talk about drinks on Fridays. Tuesday, Mystery Night, where these guys across the top here all join deleted scenes for a rewatch of Twin Peaks on Live from Sparkwood in 21, followed by a rewatch on my channel of the Granada series of Sherlock Holmes. We're entering the last stretch of that series.
Good show.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we just got through the rough patch. We just got through the case book where they took short stories and stretched them out to almost 2 hours. It's like, Netter, Thursday night, Thursday things. Guys, Tom, Brian, Greg, Michael, you guys want to join Netter for an hour on a Thursday? Talk about your channels, talk about what you do. I think she'd really appreciate it. But that goes for any of y'all that have channels that you're trying to build and so forth.
I have a policy where I never invite myself over to another lady's house. I won't.
Even when, well, no, never mind.
If she invites me, and I'm not trying to put this on her.
I was going to say, if she invites you.
She invites me.
She now that you said it, just like me, now that you've said that, the invitation will be coming in the next 24 hours.
You all are invited.
Exactly. And then, of course, that brings us to next Friday. I don't know what we'll be talking about. I'll square that away with Aged Boomer, but it'll be another great one. Please, again, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all the clicky things for everybody that's here on the panel. And before we go, looks like we have, where did it go? It was here. There it is. We have one more 45.
Shimmy left, shimmy right, 45 is dancing tonight. Wait. Hearts go popping out his bum, wiggle, wiggle, here they come. Come. Cute as can be with a fluffy tail sway, spreading love in the silliest way. 40 Fox, you're the best. Boop, 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 you're simply the cutest mess.
Thanks so much, everyone. Take care.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze are feelings that with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near, but in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, for me and you.